The Dandy Warhols for 90s Week.
So dandy.
That was your pick, Gail. Chris Stanley doesn't like the Dandies because that whole documentary, he thought that we were all supposed to choose sides.
Dig, baby.
Yeah.
I'm all about Anton Newcomb.
You're not Team Dandy?
No.
I'm on Dandies because that little keyboard player and that they had in the band, and there was just that one shot where her tits were just flying. She just had no shirt on.
It's a great shot.
You're like, okay, that's a fucking pretty cool band. This is a Wednesday here on the Bennington Show. Ron Bennington, Gail Bennington, Stanley Bennington. Ugly news, everywhere. Well, I wake up this morning, and right around the corner from me, a guy had jumped 46 floors. So
horrible.
Apparently, he had slashed his dad first, and then took a 46-floor belly flop. So that was weird. And then the news out of Virginia of the shooting there. Now, Gail, you've heard the story, right? Do you know that a young, they're like 24 years old. It's just a small station. So the girl reporter was 24 years old. The camera guy, 26 years old. They're both engaged to different people.
Oh, God.
A guy shows up. They're doing a thing from a water park. And a guy just shows up and just starts blasting. He's a disgruntled employee, apparently upset that she was hired or whatever, felt like he cut into his time. And he has released a point of view video
oh my God.
to YouTube and sent this long manifesto to ABC News. Well, here's the thing that also concerns me. There's nothing but disgruntled employees in this place.
Yes.
I mean, if I had to make up a list of shooters, my wrist would probably get tired.
God, don't say it.
No, people in this, all you got to do is walk around the halls and listen to people bitch.
Terrifying.
Jenny Hutt's going to come in here blasting one day.
Jenny, no!
And, there's a picture of this guy, but I think he shot himself already. They haven't said whether he was dead or not. But the weirdness of this, I went on Twitter immediately to watch the gun nuts fight with the anti-gun nuts, and then also watch to quickly get into race and gender.
Yes.
In no time at all. Because everybody's got the same arguments, whatever, comes up.
And they're naturally like, let's simplify this in terms we can all understand, put this in a box that I'm comfortable with.
The argument becomes get rid of all guns versus everyone should have 3 guns on them at all times.
Right. That's the law.
Yeah, that should be the law. Anyone caught without a gun should be arrested. The dude is just like a regular looking guy. He looks pretty harmless. I mean, compared to the people in the halls here, he looks certainly more harmless than the people that we work with that is disgruntled.
He doesn't look disgruntled, that's for sure. Ugh.
I guess, what are we blaming it on? Video games? Hip-hop?
Movies?
Yeah, probably movies.
I'm thinking both hip-hop video games.
Yeah, are there hip-hop video games?
Mm-hmm.
Then that's
Beat
definitely...
Where you make beats?
Oh, wait, heavy metal. Heavy metal, too.
That really dropped off in the blame game. I feel like in the 80s and like when I was young,
here's
in the
the
early
deal.
90s, it was also brought up.
The metal fans are much older now. And they're certainly not as spunky as they used to be. They're still out there, though.
Right.
I mean, metal shows still do well, but there's a lot of, bald heads at metal shows these days.
Yes.
So it's probably not them doing anything, really. They're not doing much of anything.
Right. And they're grown up and they're the ones playing the blame game now.
Yeah, now they're playing the blame game. It's like they don't listen to metal, so they're fucked up. They don't get that aggression out.
It's therapeutic.
I wanted to immediately blame it on Straight Outta Compton movie.
Yes.
Because that's hip-hop and movies.
It's brought it all back.
Yeah. So, all right, people are asking me where they could see that point of view shooting. It's on YouTube. It'll probably be taken down any second. I'm not watching it.
No.
I'm already depressed enough from the news today.
Yeah, and I mean, I saw the video that went live, and that was bad enough, and that was terrible, horrifying. It made me so sick to my stomach.
So apparently, the guy was just mad that I'm also thinking, like, can you imagine how happy the young girl's family must have been for her to be getting a gig at some small market and doing what she wants to do, and then this is what happens. Just crazy. Just a crazy world.
Fucking bananas.
I hope there's life on other fucking planets, so maybe I can move there. That's my big hope. I'll just live with lizard people.
Are you guys really good to each other? I know you're lizard people, but...
Right. Do you guys just sit around and groove all day and fucking think it's a good thing to be alive and not a bad thing? Because I'd like to hang out with you.
I'm willing to be your lizard king.
By the way, I can do anything. Someone wrote in, I want people who are gun neutral to see this and see if they can still be neutral. I don't want to get into a gun debate. It's just all bad. It's just all bad news out there. Let's just shut the door and hang out here for a couple hours.
Yeah, just for safety.
I wish I wish I could Donald Trump this thing and just run the planet myself. I'd like to be emperor of the planet. And see if I could just work some things out.
Let's just all stay safe here together.
Yeah.
Here at Bennington.
That's all we can do right now. Just fucking twist one up and forget all this shit.
It's treated like a panic room.
Yeah, this show is the panic room of radio. That's what I want to do. I want to have enough supplies in here. Water, obviously DVDs.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
You got to go old school DVDs because you don't know when they're going to cut the fucking line to the internet.
We might not have Wi-Fi in the panic room.
Dave.
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's up, buddy?
So I was wondering, you guys are a little older than me. Do you think the world's gotten crazier over time, or just the fact that social media and all that stuff, more of the crazy shit going on is just public now?
Well, like when Billy the Kid shot somebody, you didn't have to see the video up, and Billy the Kid didn't have a fucking GoPro attached to his dick, so he wasn't putting it on YouTube.
And people in the East weren't going, we've got to deal with this West.
Yeah, the West is fucking nuts.
They're out of control over there.
Literally the same thing that we say today about the West. It hasn't changed at all. We say the same damn thing.
They're trouble.
Yeah, they'll shoot them up. They'll shoot them up quick. Don in Indy, how you doing, buddy?
Hi, Ron. I just wanted to say that I think white lives matter. Need to leave the white women alone.
Okay, buddy. Yeah, it's time for a joke.
He was happy with himself.
Somebody had to laugh. Might as well be the guy.
Sometimes you got to do it for yourself.
I've seen that on Twitter already today. Actually, some people thought that the dude was white, but I guess he's light-skinned black is what they're now saying.
So everyone's to blame, I think.
Oh, yeah, both sides of the family. It really comes down to family, Everyone's doing a bad job raising kids. We got to get back to that. We got to start paddling again. Take a belt to him. That's what his parents should have done. Beat the shit out of him.
Father should be there to paddle his kids.
Father should have been there to knock this kid out until he was unconscious. My name's Adrian Peterson, and I want to be the next president of beating kids up.
They have a president?
When anyone's playing the Vikings, the other fucking fans should just have switches.
Oh, yeah.
That they're just fucking switch. Or, you know what? When Adrian Peterson scores a fucking touchdown, the offensive lineman should just bend over and AP's acting like he's just spanking him. All right, we do have a spy report from Stephen Knight. BBC is reporting this. He's dead. He killed himself.
figured that was going to be the case.
Yeah.
They usually do.
Why didn't you just kill yourself before you did this other fucking nuttiness?
Yeah.
You know, like this guy who jumped out the fucking building in my neighborhood. He didn't feel. Oh wait, he did. He stabbed his dad first. I forgot.
You forgot the dad.
But at least it's just a slash.
Yeah.
You know, a real Guns N' Roses slash rather than anything else.
He just wanted to get him once more.
Yeah, I think it got wacky over there on the 46th floor.
Boy. Dark.
Oh yeah, it's a dark day. It's a weird day.
It's safe in here though, guys.
I don't know.
What?
I look at Joe and he looks like a fucking Minnesota kook.
Oh yeah.
We'll just come running in here fucking screaming about the replacements and Prince and fucking trying to kneecap everybody.
You guys like Prince?
Oh, yes, we do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we do, Joe.
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Prince is
I
great.
really like Prince.
Yeah.
We all agree with you.
Yeah, you know who doesn't like Prince?
What?
Wiki.
No.
Yeah.
I have some words for him then.
Not words, bullets. Maybe bullet him up a little bit.
Kneecaps.
Anytime a cop shoots someone in New York and I'm close around, I just come right up screaming, I got the bullets! You know, and everyone's like, I don't know a lot of 1950s movie. I go, really? Rebel Without a Cause? Nobody? Plays a lot. Still's out there quite a bit.
You've had time.
I got the bullets! Oh, well, we didn't know. James Dean?
How are we supposed to know?
How do we know he was just going to be up there clicking off at us? That stopped the gun from working properly. Maybe if we did a thing where we keep guns legal, right? But we only sell chocolate bullets.
Oh, delicious.
So, yeah. So you just shoot people with chocolate.
Please shoot me.
In the mouth.
Come on, just constantly.
Chris would just always be the country. Poof, poof, poof. And plus, he hates to unwrap anyway, so this would be perfect for him.
I need another clip for lunch.
All the damn bullets are gone. Where's Chris at?
He's in a sugar coma.
I brought those bullets home last night. And now they're all gone.
Ooh, these bullets are too bitter, too dark.
All right, now Stephen Knight, not Stephen Wright.
No, not Stephen Wright.
And I don't know why I take any of these fucking spy reports. They're always wrong. It says he's not dead.
Oh.
He's in very critical condition and has chocolate melting all down the side of his head.
Well, it's a summer day.
Yeah, right.
You should have thought of that.
You should have thunk of that, or at least had a hard candy shell around your bullet.
And they don't know whether he was killed or injured or just injured, so it's a big mystery right now.
Well, either way, brain dead. At the very least, his brain has passed away. Mm-hmm. His body lives on.
Now there'll be a debate of whether or not to keep him on life support.
I say yes.
Right?
Yep.
Hashtag all lives matter.
Hashtag feeding tube.
Hashtag fetuses are people.
What's that have to do with anything?
Aren't they? Hashtag prayer in school. I want my kids to pray in school. Your kids don't even do fucking math in school. By the time they get around to praying, they're really being stupid.
I guarantee half the people who want prayer in school don't have their kids pray at home.
No, why would they? Takes too long. We're trying to eat here.
Hungry.
We prayed yesterday. Let's just eat. Inside pray while you're chewing. That's what I like to say. How come if that prayer is so important, you never see someone do it at a restaurant? You never at a restaurant, you just hear someone praying.
When I worked in food service, I saw it only a few times in my life. But once when I was a waitress, I was in the middle of asking a question and they were all in mid-prayer, just glared at me. So then I had to stand there and kind of put my head down. Am I supposed to pray too? Just wait for the prayer to end.
Pray your stuff, please. Were they praying out loud or quietly?
Loud and holding hands, the whole family.
I'd rather they lit up cigarettes.
I know.
It's too intense.
It was very uncomfortable for me.
I like to pray in public, but just Muslim prayers. I do it at the airport before I... My prayer is always, please let this get through. Security. Please don't let them take my suitcase and look inside of it. Prayer's important.
But it seems so private.
Does it?
It does. It seems uncomfortable.
Then maybe people should only pray when they're shitting. You know what I mean? No one actually. Why do you only pray before you consume food, not expel it? That's my big question for today.
Please guide this into the sewage system safely and quickly.
Please don't let this clog.
It's too embarrassing. I'm going to be the one who have to clean it out.
Please, Lord. Anything for you.
Ryan says Chris only likes shots of tequila being whirled at him. Well, also shots of sperm.
Ew.
Ew, he yells.
Ew, I do like that.
How'd they know?
Will anyone on the show be using heroin by EOW?
It's a personal goal.
East of West?
I'm going to back burner that for now, but hopefully I can circle back to it.
You rock. Thanks for the avails. I'm going to try to say some of that down the hall later. I don't know who, though. Sometimes I'm in those conference room meetings, and my bit is always like when we're all sitting around the big table, is always take my shoes off and just slap them down on the table.
That's your bit.
So when everyone looks, at just my shoes on the table, and then I go like this. Oh, we don't do that anymore? Sorry, I remember when we were at XM, and I put my shoes back on.
It's not a shoe meeting.
Yeah. I like when they asked if anybody has any ideas, and everyone just sits quietly. I'm like, everyone should be fired. For the second you're asked for ideas and you don't have one.
Ideas.
But I always I'll play the part of the guy that I most like. Like, Chris, give an idea of something, like a work-related idea.
Okay, I think we should do an event at
that won't
Bonnaroo.
work. We tried that before. It won't work.
It's a giant festival.
The guy he is not, he's not the boss. And yet, he's chopping someone else's fucking knees out.
No ideas of his own, though.
No, not one. But he's like, Chris tries this every time, doesn't he?
But what
not
do you
gonna
do?
Work.
What do you do?
Well, I don't waste time with the Bonnaroo idea, do I? Bonnaroo.
Well, Lollapalooza.
Please.
Let me check a calendar, see what year it is, Chris. In case we time traveled.
Back to the drawing board.
No, I do. I like anybody who's very negative about other people's ideas at a meeting. It always cracks me up. Always makes me laugh. And then I like the quick agreeing guy with the boss. Right. So you go back. You're the boss now.
Yeah, okay.
And do the same exact idea.
Okay, so we're going to have a big event at Bonnaroo this year.
Bonnaroo time.
He knows.
Woo!
He knows. See, this is good shit.
Hey, can I be on that committee with you?
You know what? You can. The Bonnaroo committee you're talking about.
Yeah. Let me be one of your foot soldiers. Because this is great. Bonnaroo time.
We're going to record musicians.
So much better than Chris's stupid Bonnaroo idea. Your Bonnaroo idea rocks.
Yeah, Chris, you're fired. You could just leave.
You're a rock star.
You're smart enough not to let yourself get into a thing.
Is that worse, or is it worse when they act like they agree and then they completely change your idea? Like, yeah, that's a great idea. Festival. Or we could do this
or just lunch.
Yeah, I think that would be a better idea. Hey, what happened to my idea?
Oh, fuck. I'm going to make sure I circle it back to that one later.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put a pin in that, Chris. Let's put a pin and put on the pin, stupid idea. We'll circle back to it later. Touch base. We're going to touch base on that.
So we're going to blue sky that one.
What I want to do is get extra added value. They're always asking about extra added value. A client. Really?
I was like, moving forward, just moving forward, this is what we're going to do.
Why don't we just stand here for a while instead of move forward?
Everything before this, horrible. Moving forward, it's going to be just great.
I like when people act like it's a positive idea when one of your coworkers gets fired and somebody that everyone likes. You know what I mean? This is going to open a lot of stuff up.
This is good
now.
for you.
Yeah.
It's your time to shine.
This is really great for everybody. I mean, yeah, it was a shock. He was fired in front of his children, but we can move forward now. You know, it's great. That's what we needed. They cut out some of the really great people here.
That guy had to go, huh?
Yeah. The mediocre will have a more of a chance to breathe.
This is a common one, too. After giving someone a raise, saying, you're really going to have to step it up now and make sure that you... I thought this was for what I'm already doing.
But this was cost of living. I need you to eat, sleep, shit here. Nowhere else. Seriously, I want you to say goodbye to your wife and kids, fuck it, and just grab a sleeping bag, move in here and work 24 hours a day.
We have a hot plate that you can cook your food on now.
I thought that was for shit.
Well, let me say, what year is this that there's a hot plate? Seriously. The last time there was a hot plate, people were saying, what do you think of Eisenhower?
Dated, a little dated.
A hot plate.
Hot plate, yeah.
I've never even been alive when there was a hot plate anywhere.
I thought people had hot plates like in trailers. I thought they were still made.
Oh, they have stoves in trailers.
All right, makes a lot more sense, a lot more convenient.
You're thinking of Shantytown.
We have a garbage fire. You can cook your food over.
Let me go over and stoke the coal in the furnace then, Chris. Man, I just watched Joe take a drink, and he puts the cup so far over his head. He's really trying to slam time.
I really like coffee, and it doesn't go quickly enough down my throat.
Oh, it's a hot beverage?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a hot beverage.
That's not smart.
You're a risk taker.
Yeah. When you're slamming hot beverages like that, it's a scary proposition.
My throat is so sore right now.
Mother dick. Oh, that dick. What are you going to do? Who do we got later on in the show today, Chris?
Mr. Joe Larson, comedian Joe Larson, stopping by.
Very nice.
He's got a new TV show?
Yeah, his new TV show, Babies Behaving Badly, on Discovery. Premieres next week.
That should just be called Babies. They all behave badly.
They don't know the rules yet.
What are these babies doing? You don't even know about it yet?
No, it's just babies, and they're doing bad shit.
And a little later on today,
the owner of the Comedy Cellar, Mr. Noam Dworman.
Wow.
Cool.
That's so exciting.
That's America's most beloved club right now.
It is. I think it is.
I don't see how people come to New York City and see comedy without going to that club.
Yeah, it's the best.
There's so many other clubs, though, that they grab these fucking stupid tourists and get them to buy blocks of tickets to, telling them that they're probably going to see, David Letterman and Jon Stewart walking in.
Mm-hmm. They're in here every night.
They just lie.
Every night's a Comedy Central showcase. Chappelle's constantly on every show.
It's always Chappelle?
It's always Chappelle. You walk by any of them, they're all saying Chappelle.
Come on.
Chappelle and Louis. Sometimes
Chappelle
Seinfeld.
doesn't even live in New York.
No.
Like with Louis or Seinfeld, you have a chance. But Chappelle is here like once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Like anyone else.
But no, he's going to be at every club tonight.
You're probably going to see Bob Hope there. Donald Trump, he threw a guy out of his press conference and then let him back in. But the really best thing about it is that when the guy was being thrown out and Donald was waiting, he started sucking on his teeth, his own teeth. But this guy was being an asshole. He was talking when Donald wasn't pointing at him.
I mean, he would have just figured.
People at the station didn't know what was happening. What makes this all the more?
Sit down. Go ahead. No, you don't. You haven't been called.
I have the right to ask the question.
Go back to Univision. Go ahead.
You cannot deport 11 million.
Go ahead.
You cannot deport 11 million people. You cannot build a 1900
Like.
You cannot deny citizens.
I love this.
Sit down, please. You weren't called.
I'm not reporting. Don't touch me, sir. Don't touch me.
Go.
Go.
I have the right to ask a question. I have the right to ask a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, that's Jorge Ramos
Hi,
of
Chip,
Univision.
yes.
He's being escorted out of the room. He was asking a question, and Donald Trump
No,
said
I
he
wouldn't
didn't
do
call
that.
him. That's
She
why
actually
he
should be
is being
apologizing.
removed. Jorge
He
Ramos.
should be apologizing.
He's a little kid.
So then Donald let him come back in later. You don't have to play any more of it, though. But it's pretty great.
He giveth and he taketh away. And then he giveth back, which is great.
Keeps us interested. You know, every day you're going to get a nice, quick, fun clip. I at least want it to go up to election night.
Yeah. At least. Let's just see how far we can take it.
Or if it looks like Hillary probably isn't going to be running or whatever the hell, that's all coming apart. And they were just going to give her the nomination. And now other people are hustling. Let's throw Mark Cuban on the other side. Let's just have it billionaire boys club.
Love it.
I would vote for Mark Cuban. I don't even know what it would be. But if he owns
I don't
some
even know
Mavericks,
what it would be.
I don't even know what his platform would be. But how could you not love Mark Cuban?
Do you know what Donald Trump's platform is?
Immigrants. They're bad. He's building a wall.
Not a fence, a wall. Make sure you know.
Okay, he's getting it. Chris is picking up on it. Immigrants, they're bad.
They're ruining the country.
I'm worried now that this homicidal news guy who shot at people is going to be the new Halloween costume and replace Caitlyn Jenner.
There's already a Halloween costume that's, in my opinion, has replaced Caitlyn Jenner. It is the doctor who killed Cecil the Lion. So it's a dentist costume and a severed lion's head.
No.
And it's a bloody
Come on.
costume.
That's a pretty good costume.
I think it beats Caitlyn.
These are going to be popular.
It's going to freak people out carrying around severed lion heads. It'll make them sad.
I just feel like it's going to be too old a news by the time that happens. Caitlyn will probably be too old a news by the time it happens.
I don't know. People, I feel like they get excited about their costumes early and they get it in their mind. So a lot of times people are walking around with very non-topical 7-month-old news.
I'm just going to put the sheet over my head with the eyeballs cut out. And it's not even going to be a white sheet. It's a plaid sheet.
Whoa.
Sheet matter here.
Oh, look at that tartan.
Sheet.
So spooky.
Oh, I didn't know it was supposed to be a ghost. I thought it was a sheet man. A guy wearing a sheet as clothing.
It's actually scarier, I think.
Yeah.
I was thinking that one of the popular ones would be the shark from the Katy Perry halftime. Everybody was obsessed with those sharks. Remember those?
I forgot that. Yeah.
And I just know that people are like, can't wait to be the shark.
One of the sharks was just acting like spaz the whole entire time.
Really, really hamming it up.
Yeah.
Left shark. Left shark was the one everyone fell in love with.
See, I went for right shark.
Yeah, I mean, look at the character.
Yeah.
He's downright charming, right shark.
Yeah, that's way too old, I think, to get people still pop back to. Because I already forgot who won the Super Bowl. I know there was a deflated ball.
Definitely.
That was just laying there like a pancake.
Just chucking it around.
He was just throwing it like a frisbee down the field. See if you can catch it. Run under it.
So easy to catch.
Yeah. It's nice and deflated for me. Nice and soft. I hate those other inflated balls.
I guarantee there's going to be some sharks at Halloween. People love the older news stories for that. Like, you know what's another one is going to be? The dress. Do you remember the dress? The
Clinton dress had jizz all over it?
Oh, that was popular for many years. It's like, yes, we get it.
I remember
it's funny.
I said, oh, here's Monica Lewinsky. And the girl's like, what? I goes, oh, you just have come on your dress. You didn't even know we were dressing up today. Whether the dress was blue or what was it? It was
blue and white or gold and something else.
I forgot which one I even
Black
saw.
and blue or gold and
Why
white.
am I looking and I can see both colors?
Because they modify it so you're able to see what the other person would see.
Well, what do most people see?
I think the majority of people saw the...
Just give me this straight. That one?
Yeah, that was the
original.
original.
I see it as gold and white.
Okay, see, I see black and blue.
I see gold and white.
Joe, what do you see?
Gold and white.
See, he has glasses, so we know it's right.
Oh, yeah. Really accurate.
His eyesight has been corrected by a doctor.
The black and blue, I think, is worse eyesight.
Black and blue probably means that you've got a tumor of some kind.
What?
Yeah.
Damn it.
That's according to the internet.
BuzzFeed figured that out.
Do you have a tumor? And what kind?
Shit. What kind of tumor are you?
It's not a tulma. It's not. Yeah, but how would you be able to go out and buy that dress as a costume?
I bet they will have some sort of version where it's like half and half, split down the side or something. I guarantee.
Be nice. That'd be nice. That way everybody's happy. Although I would just say it is golden white, no matter what it is. No matter what the dress is, I just say golden white. Is something wrong with my eyes?
Oh, no.
Every dress. There's never been another color. Do you ever notice how women always dress in gold and white?
Every time I see a dress like that, I just think upskirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
See, Chris was just giggling devilishly.
There's
creep.
Women have started wearing these shorts that look like a skirt, and it's always very confusing to me. Where it's
skirt?
It's not a skirt. It's shorts. They're like very loose shorts that when they're sitting down looks like a skirt, but when they get up, it's like that. Oh my God, those are
Is
short.
it supposed to look like a skirt when they sit down?
I don't know. It's very confusing to me. When I see all these women, is she wearing a skirt? Oh no, those are just shorts.
You see a lot of women doing it.
Yeah, I see a lot of women doing it on the trains, walking around New York City. It's very confusing.
I think that what you're thinking of is skirts, and those are middle school girls in uniform.
No.
That's fucking sick.
That's what you're thinking of.
There's adults on the subway.
These adults, they have braces?
Nothing I could see. I didn't see their mouths open.
And backpacks?
You weren't focused on the mouth.
Oh, he never does.
I don't know why, but ew.
I always focus on the mouth.
Too much, though?
All right, look up pants dress or shorts dress. Let's see if we can find this thing. I've been just wearing sweatpants around my head because it's, makes for a nice headband. Documentary now.
Are any of these what you're looking for?
No, they're not.
That looks like a skirt.
Yeah, that doesn't look like a dress.
See, these are them. This is an actual.
These are them.
These pair of shorts looks like a skirt. I feel crazy when I look at them. It looks like a
Why do you feel crazy, though?
I just see shorts. Is this like the golden white thing? What do you say?
Yes.
I don't see a dress at all there.
You don't know whether you're looking at shorts or a pleated skirt.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Why must you know? Why is this driving you crazy?
I feel tricked every time. I'm like, that chick's wearing a nice skirt. It's shorts.
So you get happy if someone's wearing a skirt and then sad if they're wearing shorts.
I feel like they're tricking.
Tricking who?
Everyone.
Because you're trying to look up the skirt.
Well, I mean,
and you've been foiled. That's what you're saying.
It's creepy behavior, but it happens sometimes.
So you're an upskirt guy?
If I'm on the subway, yeah, and the woman moves her legs, yeah. I mean, I
don't
then
think
yes, you are. If all it takes is public transportation, then yes, you are.
If you say to somebody, you are a rapist? Oh, only in a back alley.
Yeah.
I've never raped someone in a mall.
Yeah.
But if they were alone in an alley, yes.
Not in daylight, not in broad daylight.
the eye's drawn to the bare thigh as it's moving, crossing and uncrossing the leg. So my eye's drawn to it, and I'm like, oh shit, about upskirt's about to happen. Oh, those are shorts, and I'm disappointed inside my own head.
You're such a creep. You're a serious fucking creep.
This thought's gone through my head 500 times over the course of the summer, and I'm not even exaggerating. Happens like 4 times a day.
So you're doing this on multiple women on the train then? They're all wearing these big old shorts?
I'm not telling them to wear these giant shorts.
Sometimes he just sees a pair of Pampers.
No.
And he's really upset. J.J. Abrams says that the villains in Star Wars are going to be based on Nazis. As if that's a new thing.
I think all villains have been based on Nazis.
At least the Star Wars ones.
They were
went to stormtroopers. They're actually called stormtroopers.
Literally, they took the Nazi soldiers' names. Come on, JJ. What the hell are you doing?
He should have said that the good guys are going to be based on Nazis.
Really turn it around.
We're going to cleanse some of these planets. Get more Jedis in there.
JJ's like, I've got an idea. Lightsabers. Pretty cool, right?
Well, it's his now. It's his to run with. J.J. Abrams produces every third movie. Hey, Jesse in Utah, what's up?
Hey, I think Chris should wear a Pee Wee Herman outfit with mirrors on his toes so he can be labeled as an upskirt pervert.
He is an upskirt pervert.
It rarely happens. because of all these shorts that are masquerading as skirts.
Oh, perf.
By the way, what did J.J. Abrams ever do in the first place? What gained him fame? Why does he get everything now?
It was a TV show that he got. Oh, Lost. He was the creator of Lost.
The first episode he directed. He didn't create it.
He wasn't the creator?
I don't think so, because he wasn't there at the end. And normally they bring the creator back to talk about it. I know he directed the first episode, but he got fucking credit for the whole series.
Yeah, people do give it to him. They're like, J.J. Abrams created this great thing and was lost. And it wasn't great.
It wasn't great. It sucked.
And he had nothing to do with it, really.
So that was it? Lost?
It was Lost, and he got Cloverfield after Lost.
Which is terrible. That's the shittiest fucking 9/11 porn I've ever seen. And not that I've seen a lot of 9/11 porn.
And then he got Star Trek and Super 8. Which are both... It's all
Both
mediocre.
They all blow.
Why is he beloved then and so trusted?
I have no idea. But the fanboys love him. They can't get him and like Josh Whedon, the guy who did the Avengers movies. Him and Abrams are just fucking... they can't do a goddamn thing wrong. And I hate Josh Whedon.
You hate him?
I literally hate him.
As a person or a director?
As a director.
Okay.
A creator of content or whatever. Because people love his Firefly TV show so much. It was only like 8 episodes and it was crap. I watched it. It was really bad.
I've never seen it, but they're bringing it back.
Oh, fantastic. Great. The fucking 300 people online who jerk off over it all day long will get some happiness.
What are they jerking off on exactly?
By the way, why did you have to pan on my jerking off? We're on the
It's
radio.
It was just to disturb us.
And if your penis tilts that way, I want you to see a doctor.
Fucking horizontally? Yeah, he's
every day he brings up horizontals. Every fucking day.
But seriously,
okay, I'll be serious.
Okay, let's get serious.
Yeah.
Let me stop all this ass grabbing and give you the attention you deserve.
Joss Whedon's terrible.
Okay.
And I've watched a lot of sci-fi TV shows, and Firefly's at the bottom. I'll tell you that right now. There were a bunch of like bad sci-fi TV shows produced by Fox in the 90s. I loved all of them, and Firefly was worse than all of them. It's really bad.
You like them.
You're not making a fucking bit of sense.
He's a
You said they're
passionate young
bad,
man,
but you
though.
love them. And then you say, here's one that's worse than the stuff that you love.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. You need to have more of a critical eye.
Okay. Well, there's a number of science fiction TV shows that have been overlooked, I'd say, as opposed to this.
Give me one.
All right, Babylon 5.
All right.
Sounds cool.
I can't be in this. How about just fucking Babylon producer? You fucking nitwit. All I hear is fucking gibberish coming from over there. He loves sci-fi, though.
He
loves
does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me, I like sci-fact. That's my favorite thing.
It's not fi enough.
A motorcycle engine. That's what I'll watch on TV.
Is there like a rocket on it? Does it fly?
No. This is an actual fact.
Not for me, then. It's got to be not real.
All right, so you love Babylon 5. That's your all-time favorite?
Yes. Babylon 5, then Star Trek Next Generation. Immediately below it.
And that's it? That's your only two out of all this 90s bragging that you did?
I can't remember the names of the 90s Fox
You
shows.
brought them up.
Oh, there was a great show called VR on Fox. Lasted about half a season about virtual reality.
I don't remember that one.
It, got canceled pretty quickly.
Let's go over here. The Lewis in Manhattan disagrees. What's up, Lewis?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, I got to disagree with Pepper. His first show was Alias. That was before Lost. That was what he got fame for, and then he left that show after 2 seasons. He's known for just leaving shit after about a season or two.
Why don't you leave all the fucking movies then?
Please. Oh, wait a minute. He co-created Felicity, too. J.J. Abrams sucks. He's terrible.
You don't like Felicity?
Now people are saying that he didn't direct Cloverfield.
Oh, boy.
What are you yelling about, Chris?
Or he produced Cloverfield. My bad. He directed Mission Impossible 3 and Star Trek and Super 8. Those are the first 3 movies they directed. Anything else he wrote or produced?
Some guy Russ wants to disagree with you about Firefly.
Bring it, dude.
Go ahead, Russ.
Yeah, Chris, you're a fucking moron, you jackass. There was 11 episodes that were televised, but there was 13 made, and it was a pretty good fucking show. Way better than Babylon 5, and I like Babylon 5.
Oh my God, you're insane to think that fucking Firefly is better than Babylon 5. No one on the planet would say that besides you. You're crazy. Firefly was crap. No, stop playing with your little friend. I got this.
Dinner time.
Talking to Russ.
You've got homework, and it's bath night.
Let's go, druggie. Talk to me.
Firefly is...
Why is he calling you a druggie? You're not taking drugs, are you?
No. Russ, in the 11 episodes or whatever, he couldn't even get anything going on that TV show. The fucking characters were terrible, and the storylines were horrible. The guy was a ripoff.
Yes.
Yeah?
Why is the right side of the couch have cum all over it? You're not horizontal jacking again, are you?
No.
The reason you didn't like it, Chris, is because you're racist. Because
there's cum all over the right side of the couch.
Don't know where that came from.
People are saying you're racist.
I love all people. And how am I racist because of Firefly, dude?
Man, come on. It was a good show.
Oh, come on.
It was entertaining. It could have gone somewhere, but they didn't give it enough time because a lot of fuckers like you decided it was a piece of shit because you like Babylon 5. Come on,
I've supported every bad science fiction TV show and given them all a chance. And this one was terrible.
Chris, you don't need to be cursing out there. I'll wash your mouth out with soap.
Not again.
I'm an ex-sailor, man. That's all I fucking do is cussing.
Hold on. Here's Ronnie from New Mexico. He wants to jump in too, Russ. Go ahead, Ronnie.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, as much as it pains me, I do agree with Pepper. And I also just wanted to say that this fella sounds like Raid Zone if you listen to The Bonfire.
I did not quite hear what he said.
You sound like a Bonfire character.
Oh, okay.
What's his name, Ronnie?
I'm going to take that as a good thing.
Raid Zone.
It's a new show with two great comics.
Dan Soder and...
Yeah, we know what the Bonfire is. We don't know who the guy is, though.
It's just a fellow that they made fun of that's mentally handicapped.
Oh, jeez.
No, that's not...
Listen to last week's episode.
Dark.
Jeez.
Oh, my God.
Don't make fun of me!
Bonfire?
That's shock.
So shocky. Shocky.
Well, Russ looked like an idiot.
Chris, I just got a phone call. Are you making fun of a mentally handicapped child?
Not today. Sorry about the jizz. It was me. I'm going to admit it.
Well, it wouldn't have been anyone else, Chris. Could you run down to the store for me?
What do you need?
I need you just to be out of here for a while. I'm going to hose off the jizz.
No, keep it. I like it.
Oh.
Disgusting, man.
Gross.
And blunt.
So gross.
Well, that was a spirited debate over the merits of a TV show I'd never heard of before in my life.
You shouldn't have heard of it.
I think Russ had some points, though. I'm interested.
I don't know what he was saying. I mean, I like when he called Chris a fucking druggie.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was great.
His point was, oh, come on.
It was roast battle. We had like a little roast battle going on here.
Russ got roasted. He's burning right now. Is it Russ? Yeah, Russ from Indy.
You got roasted.
Yeah. The show I did see on, I think it was Deadline, said the other day that they're talking about bringing it back, which is weird. What year did this come back? You said in the 90s?
Yeah, it was late 90s.
So all those actors are going to get calls now?
I don't know. I don't even know if any of them have a career since the end of that show.
You don't remember any of them?
There were nobodies then. I don't remember seeing them. And
nobody's then, nobody's now.
Exactly. So I guess they're all going to be able to answer the call.
Getting the band back together. Mm-hmm. Just see guys taking off their fucking chef's apron and throwing them down on the ground. Fuck this. Firefly's back on.
We're going to do it.
This is going to be happening now. Without those assholes not watching us. I think they made a movie too, right?
Yeah, Serenity was the name of the movie. I didn't give that a watch because I watched all the TV show. I was done with it. It's just for Josh Whedon's weirdo fanboys.
Did you stay with Under the Dome?
No, I did not.
Did you watch the first season, or did you move on to the second season? Or you
No,
just
I watched the first season and then move on to the second.
I did the first season and then the first episode of the second season and was like, I can't go on.
Well, when they said Under the Dome, I'm like, great, finally, a fucking TV show about the old Houston Oilers. Who's going to play Earl Campbell in this? And then I found out it wasn't the Astrodome. I was really bummed out. Jim Yonkers.
Hey, buddies. I'd like to join on Kick Pepper while he's down day.
Sure.
Joss Whedon was responsible for Firefly, not J.J. Abrams.
That's what I said. We were talking about J.J. Abrams, and I brought up that Abrams and Whedon were the two guys everyone loves. That's
Well,
what
they
Firefly
may be in love, but J.J. Abrams doesn't have credits on Firefly.
Oh, my God, you're not paying attention. I fucking brought up the point that J.J. Abrams and Joss Whedon...
Dude, Chris, you made a mistake.
He did
What's
make
the big deal?
Okay.
I'm 100% right for once.
Everybody makes mistakes.
It's not a mistake.
Well, I'll let Pepper have the small win then.
Somebody wants to know, ask Hicks, who's Josh Whedon?
Joss Whedon. Who names their kid Joss? Just go with Josh. Joss, Joss. What kind of terrible parenting is that?
Joss Stone.
All right. There's two people named Joss.
All right. Why don't we take a break? Let Chris put a fucking cold towel on his neck. Coming back in just a couple minutes. This is Bennington.
This is Bennington on Raw Dog 99, Sirius XM's Comedy Club.
You know, when you see a lot of bad news like we have out there today, and you turn on the cable news network and it's just bad news, you got to think of something for yourself on a day like today. Turn off the TV. Maybe put on some music. And then it's Tito's time. Just sit back and chill. Chris, as much as we all enjoy Tito's, I never asked you before, how did this company get started?
Well, in 1995, Tito Beverage had the idea of building his own micro distillery.
1995?
Yeah, back in 95.
Wasn't that the year Firefly came out?
I believe it was, yeah. Good year for Tito.
Did you like that?
No, wasn't a fan of Firefly. Loved Tito, though.
Sure.
And then he acquired the first legal permit to distill in Texas, and he put his life savings into it.
Who did?
Tito Beverage.
Oh.
He racked up 19 credit cards to build his own copper pot stills and condensers.
This seems like a problem, dude. It seems like he's going to end up in a problem with this. Does it work out?
Wait, listen to this. Since then, he's been awarded a 95 rating by Wine Enthusiast. He won the unanimous Judge's Choice Double Gold Medal at the World Spirits Competition, the Chairman's Trophy for World's Best Vodka Tonic, and many others.
See? This is nice.
Yeah.
This is good news, not bad news.
It makes me feel good. Tito's Vodka has a modest paper label on a simple bottle.
Hey, watch it.
No. So all you pay for...
I think it looks classy.
So all you pay for is the exceptional handmade vodka inside.
That's true, though. Sometimes I wish I could just take it home in my hands, you know? Just make a little cup with my hands and say, pour some in.
No, you want the...
Save even more savings.
You want the simple bottle.
Okay, I mean, they already have that.
Yeah.
They don't have the hands things. I'm just trying to help out.
Well, Tito still makes...
I got another idea.
What's that?
Glass pockets. Glass pockets. You just go there, you open up your glass pocket, fill it up with Tito's. Have a cap for the top.
Okay, it's not just open. Well, Tito still makes his vodka by hand on the same land where he started it all.
What about this? Made by hand, delivered to your hands. Or glass pocket. Actually, I've been thinking about this. We can get a hold of the Pretenders and see if we can't do a parody song, Glass in the Pocket. I got glass in pocket and some Tito's. Now I'm going to drink it.
I'd listen to that.
Glass pocket. Bam, 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 bam. You know what? I like Tito's website because he always has songs and stuff.
Oh, yeah, because Tito's handmade vodka is distilled 6 times from 100% corn.
You're not even listening to me. I just said he has a website with songs on it and stuff like that.
Yeah, Tito'sVodka.com.
Yeah, Tito'sVodka.com. That's what I'm talking about.
You can get recipes, all the songs, and more.
When you say more, what are we talking about specifically?
He works with dogs, like dog rescues, and there's like pictures.
I love dogs.
Yeah.
You know, today's I think it's National Dog. What is it, Gail?
It's National Dog Day.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I didn't know that Tito works with dogs like that.
Yeah.
Today is National Dogs Day, which, by the way, is I always love when a company is involved in other things just besides, making money. When you're saying, okay, we're involved with the community, and there's only two kinds of people in the world that I know of: dog people and cat people. Some people are both, though. Some people are like, I got a dog and a cat. I go choose. And they go, I won't choose. Was that his dog?
That's one of the Tito's dogs on Tito's Twitter page, which is at Tito's Vodka.
I love a dog with a kerchief around his neck.
It's a great look.
Wait, is that a Tito's?
It's a Tito's kerchief, yeah.
Yeah.
Tito's
Oh
handkerchief.
my God.
You want to get one for your
I need
dog?
one of those
All
for
right.
Birdie.
All right. We'll get them then.
How?
Go to Tito'sVodka.com.
They sell them there?
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal on that. So I had a friend of mine. He went everywhere with his dog. And the dog always had a kerchief around his neck like he was in the East Street Band or something, right? So my buddy's name was Dan, right? And guess what he named his dog? Dan. He named his dog, not even Dan Jr., he just called him Dan. So a lot of times, like, I'd be over his house or something, and he'd be like, look at Dan. He would just say, he just loved to look at Dan. He goes, just look at Dan. He goes, I'll tell you. He goes, I really like all you guys because we're all buddies together. And he goes like this, but I'd rather just spend time with Dan. I'm like, you talking about yourself? He goes, no, I'm talking about Dan. He loved that dog. And then sometimes he'd have a kerchief on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
With a match?
All kerchiefs match, Chris.
Well, some are blue, some are red. I don't know.
What, blue and red doesn't match? Take a look at the flag. Oh, it's mismatched.
Right.
You know what's mismatched right now?
What's that?
Your metaphors. So National Dog Day, what are we supposed to do to celebrate dogs today?
Just
love them?
Love the hell out of them. Spoil them. Share your pictures.
You ought to do, did you wake Birdie up today and have something nice for her?
I did. She had a nice treat. Although she always kind of has a nice treat. She's well fed, that dog.
Can I ask you a question about Birdie?
Mm-hmm.
What does she drink?
Water. She drinks water.
Oh, because I gave her something else when I was with her. It was cold, so I gave her a nice little soda pop.
Oh, good. Delicious.
Dogs don't like soda?
No.
She was just lapping it up like there was no tomorrow.
Oh, my God.
She looked up at me like, I never get this at home. Is it bad for them?
I would think so, yes.
There's a lot of things like that are bad for dogs you don't even know about.
I know.
Like chocolate. Don't
Yes.
give a dog chocolate. Don't give them an avocado.
Yep.
Is there certain nuts?
I'm not sure about nuts. Onions, garlic.
Citrus freaks them out.
Yeah, they hate citrus.
Yeah.
That's weird that they would be that close to us. Basically, up until, let's say, 100 years ago, probably, all they ate was leftovers.
Yeah, scraps.
So why didn't they get into the vegetable part of it? That's what I don't understand about dogs. You're evolving so good, try to evolve all the way. Eat an appetizer.
A side or something.
Yeah, have some fries.
I love some fries.
You're not a dog, dude.
Oh.
Talking about dogs right now. We're talking about Tito's and everything that they do for dogs.
Tito's handmade vodka is distilled 6 times from 100% corn and is naturally gluten-free. Visit us at Tito'sVodka.com for recipes, songs, and more. 40% alcohol by volume, handcrafted to be savored responsibly.
You went early. Oh, it's Bennington Show. Hey, tonight, Joe List finds out if he goes to top 10 on Last Comic Standing. Let's hope that he did.
Fingers crossed, Joe List is on the list.
Last year, the Handsome Vaults found himself the nice run
Yes.
on that.
Very good run.
And I hope people tweeted him, or you can still feel free to, because his feelings were hurt from doing Voss and Bonnie's
I
show
know.
over on Opie Radio, and their fans weren't nice.
Be kind to him.
Be kind to people.
Be
That's all.
gentle.
You're not some crazy disgruntled employee. You're a real person. Also, Gerard Carmichael's show is tonight. He did our show a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Really sweet kid. Really nice. I hope the show works out for him. He said he was very proud of it. I said, I'll wait and see. You know, sitcoms can really let you down. It's a hard thing to do, a sitcom.
It is,
Very, very hard.
And I think it's, the taste in that type of humor has changed a bit, like that style. So people are more likely to, feel weird about the laugh track. It's like, it's hard. It has
Right. Everyone blames people for using a laugh track now.
Yeah.
Although the highest paid people in TV last year were all sitcom stars. The Big Bang Theory cast makes just millions.
Yeah.
Millions. I think the Weirdo made like $40-some million.
What?
You know what I would say after 1 year of $40 million? Then I quit. I don't want to fucking do anything else.
I'm done.
I got $40 million.
I've made enough.
I'm going to buy a ranch.
I'm going to buy ranch dressing, is what I would say.
So much. Unlimited funds, really.
No more butter on my salad for me, Mom. It's nothing but sweet ranch dressing.
Like I always dreamed. You didn't think I could do it, did you?
I'm the first person in my family ever to be able to have ranch dressing. It's fantastic. I'm having it here on my ranch. I'll just call it dressing now, from now on. You got something big coming up, Gail.
I do.
Something that you're very proud of.
I have something that I am extremely excited about. I was asked to be a special guest judge on an internet drag contest, beauty contest.
An internet drag beauty contest.
Yes. So this is for notsafeforwork.com. And
wow, what a great fucking title of a website.
Well,
huh?
it's not safe for number 4 and then work, like drag queens say with an E.
I don't know this.
Not
This is
not
a
safe.
whole new culture for me.
Not safe for work.
I'll never be able to find it.
Exactly. That's it. Work. Work, Mama. Yes. Go
Is that
on.
what they say? Work?
Yes, go on.
So what are you going to be looking at? Pictures or video?
So it's going to be video. So the contest has actually started. The first week has begun.
Have you started watching video?
Yes, I have, but I'm not judging this week. I'm just
Yeah.
enjoying it.
You're just watching as a fan.
Yes. So I think that thing on the left there, the skull and crossbones, I think that's the link to their pageant. This is like a lifelong dream for me.
Why?
Because I've been a drag
aficionado,
super fan since childhood. So this particular week, it's like a cosplay week. So they're all supposed to be characters. And so their videos are up and their pictures are up. But I think I'm judging 2 weeks from now.
Pretty cool.
Yes, I'm very excited.
I don't like to judge people, though. Do you like to judge? Because I guess their whole thing is about judging.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't like a mean-spirited judgment, but you know what? I've been called to do it. I'll be a fair witness. That's how I see it. Not necessarily a judge.
I like that.
A fair witness. Tough, but fair.
All right. Not safe for
Number
work.
4. Work with
And
an A.
when we go there, we'll be able to see the things that you said?
Yes, I think so. This is the first week, so we haven't seen the judgments yet come through. But I think there is also people can vote along with it, so it's not just our vote that counts.
All right,
you
so
guys
tweet that out. It's not safe, then the number 4, and then work with an E at the end.
Yes, I will. And you guys should follow them on Twitter at the same name. Not safe for work.
Yeah. With an E on the end? Work has an E on the end?
No. Work is the E is in the middle.
E is in the
like
middle
work.
of work.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Instead of the O.
WERK.
Work.
Like work it, girl.
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled. I cannot wait. And I
What are
want
you
to thank
judging
Miss Chiffon Dior for asking me to do it.
That's who asked you?
Yes, Miss Chiffon Dior. The beautiful, talented Miss Chiffon.
Chiffon is a performer as well.
Yes, she is. But she runs this website.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, this is her deal.
Well, it should be fun, man.
I cannot wait.
There's a lot of Pokemon characters. I know that was so huge in the cosplay world.
Oh, yeah. Big time, baby. They love it, I guess. I didn't know either.
I don't think that that's considered cosplay, what they do either, Chris. To be totally honest here. You have to be very careful.
I mean, Box of Vine is a Charizard. That just sounds crazy.
I don't know what that means.
It's a Pokemon.
It's a Pokemon character. It's a Charizard.
But there's other sections like regular pageant, like I think like evening gown and swimsuit and that kind of stuff. So
this is just cosplay.
This is just
stuff.
1 week. The first week is the cosplay.
Oh, is it going to be the same people competing every week?
Yes, it's the same group of beauties. And someone will be crowned.
I'm going to judge the week they do broad jump.
Yes.
I'll sit there with a tape measure. Well, that's very cool that you got asked to do that.
I know. I'm so excited.
Not safe for work, but the work is spelled with an E.
Exactly. Not safe for number 4, work.
Oh, yeah.
With that E.
Who we got coming up, Chris?
Mr. Joe Larson. Joe Larson is his new TV show, Babies Behaving Badly. Premieres next Friday, September 4th at 8 p.m. on Discovery Family and TLC. Go to discovery.com for more information. On Twitter,
Great to see you again.
he's at What About Joe. At What About Joe.
Gail, did I hear right? Are you the daughter of that man over there?
That's what they say.
Oh, my God.
This is normally the musical in play, but it's good to... We had no music today, Chris?
No music for Joe today.
Why wouldn't Joe get music?
Because I screwed that up.
You don't have to
Joe
say
likes
that.
music.
Chris, come on.
Joe,
What are you doing?
Joe, good to see you, pal.
Likewise. It's been a while. How are you?
The last time I saw you were in a contest.
Yes.
And now you're a big TV star.
What's funny is actually during that contest, I was filming 2 shows.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I couldn't talk about either of them.
Yeah.
I was filming the show that I'm doing that's premiering next week, and then I was also filming America's Got Talent.
Oh, yeah.
Which I filmed 2 episodes of, and they hey now. They right before we went to Radio City, they called me and went, "Yeah, we're not going to use any of that."
What were you doing for him?
I was doing stand up on the show. Yeah. I got the 4 yeses, all that stuff. The standing ovation went on, did the other one, same thing, and then I guess goodbye. They just didn't use it.
Now, but you never got voted off the show.
No, I got voted through, and then producers went, "Yeah, I don't think we're going to use them this year."
So they're open to use you another year? Is
they're
that why
open
they
to use me another year? Yeah. So hopefully maybe next year.
See, I never know how this TV works.
It's one of the craziest
thing ever.
It felt like it was done, you know?
Yeah, you can't be voted. I mean, the only way that if you're in a contest, you have to be voted off.
Yeah.
To be off the contest.
Well, the thing with the TV is they overshoot. So they have a plethora of material to use, and so when they decide to take the show in a certain direction, they can do that. You know, it was crazy because I got Mel B said yes first, and then Heidi said you're incredible, great job, yes, and then Howie goes yeah, of course, and Mel turns to him and goes, well, how about a little enthusiasm? And Howard stands up out of his chair and goes, an enthusiastic yes, and then a standing ovation. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be on top of the world. I'm going to be famous. And then 2 months later, yeah, no one's going to see that. Oh. They kept one piece in. The only piece they kept in was some B-roll backstage and talking to my 3-year-old daughter. And they're having me ask her questions. And I go, hey, Lola, there's 4 judges. How many do you think are going to like me? And she starts to count. She goes, 1, and then they cut right there. That's all I got in that show. Yeah. That's all I got in that show. So.
I had no idea on any of those shows that you could be off without being voted off. I was stunned by this.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, they got to overshoot.
Yeah, I guess. I just always, for me, the weird thing about any of those shows, I feel like it's in real time. You know what I mean? I feel like this is happening right now.
This is real.
Yeah.
Well, you live in the moment.
I do.
The radio is now. Me. If it's happening, it's happening.
Yeah, it's always happening. Now, you got this other show, though. What's happening there?
So, during the same time I saw you last time, we were negotiating the contract for this. It's called Babies Behaving Badly, and it's a clip show, kind of like VH1's I love the 80s, that sort of thing, meets sort of Tosh Point Oh's web redemptions. So they go out and they find all these viral videos, like David Goes to the Dentist and those sorts of really adorable ones. And they'll go talk to those kids now and talk to their parents now and see what they're doing now and talk to them, show them the clip. And it's hysterical to watch some of the reactions. And then they have me and 3 other comedians, Ty Barnett, Stephanie Bloom, and Joanna Stein, all comment on it. And so we're sort of talking heads on the show.
So you're sitting there basically ripping babies.
Yeah, we do. When they called me, they're like, hey, you want to make fun of babies? I was like, I'm doing it right now. You're going to just send a camera to my house? I've got 2 I'm making fun of currently.
It's always funny with that, too, because, well, you got a cousin that the other day still is upset that they put a YouTube of him on 6 years ago. Now he's old enough to act like it's embarrassing
and
to him.
he's dancing, and he was very upset about it.
Well, he'll be pissed about it till he's about 22. And then girls will be like, but it's so cute. And he'll be like, I know, you want to see it again? Let's go back to my house.
We had home movies where my older sister, at the very end of it, just starts beating up my brother, right? So every time that we watched that, we would laugh, and my brother would hop up and just start wailing on her. Just like, and I'm like, they're way too old to still be holding this grudge. He'd be like, you can't do it now, though, can you? He was serious as hell. Because you can't let go of that childhood stuff. It just stays with you forever.
It's there forever.
How old's your kid now?
My daughter's going to turn 4 next week, and my other daughter turned 1 last month.
Yeah. 1 and 4.
Yeah. We just went on vacation up to Lake George, and my wife was at like the outlets shopping somewhere. And after they were done, she put the big kid in the back and was nursing the small one. And a guy pulled up right next to her and pulled into the space and was kind of giving her a bad look, you know, sort of, you know, and she was like, yeah, fuck you, you know, it's breastfeeding. Get over it.
Yeah.
And then he's shaking and she's like, what? And she turns around and she goes, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And then she sees the mirror tilted and he's jerking off.
Oh, Jesus.
Horrendous. Nothing is funny about that story except when my wife turned around and went, you gotta be fucking kidding me. My 3-year-old daughter went, no, I'm not.
Now that, this has happened to me so many times. This guys look over and just start masturbating.
How could they not?
Chris, you're a person that sees breastfeeding as sexual, and that's why you don't think it should be done.
Yeah, that's what weirds me out.
We've had this.
Like, you're into that?
I'm not into it, but I just see a bare breast out and someone sucking on it.
Makes him uncomfortable.
It's not someone, it's the child.
It's a tiny baby.
It's a child.
So, but in that world, you've sexualized the baby because it's someone sucking on it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's how it's.
No
so you are like a low-level pedophile.
No, I'm not a pedophile at all.
No, possible. You have urge.
First of all, the only thing I would disagree is low level. That's the one spot. But really. And but you see it all the time now too.
Yeah, it's constant. It's very distracting. So I just have to like consciously say, don't look over there.
You got to come to mine. Park Slope. That's where I live. It is just
it's just constant,
rampant.
Yeah. It is. By the way, I'm going to give you extra credit for the Lake George vacation. I think that when you have little kids, you really need to do Americana type stuff instead of people, you don't need to fly all over. You don't need big hotels. You need that old school.
Well, that's one thing I've learned doing comedy is that this country has some really incredible stuff in it. Yeah. And it's right there. Like we could go to Paris.
Right.
But why when I can drive 4 hours and she can go on the mini haha and she can learn about the
great stuff.
She can go on and do all this really cool stuff. And at 4, she wants to go swim. She doesn't care where.
That's true. I remember that too. Like if you went to a hotel, it would just be all at the pool.
Totally.
They have a pool, right? We're going to go down to the pool. You just freaking on that.
I started to put that in my rider for gigs. How much does it pay? $3? It doesn't have a pool. It has a pool? All right, we'll do it.
But yeah, those vacations are the ones that kids always remember at that age, especially. Sure. And like the littlest things impress them. Like I love Lake George because it's so kitschy and sweet and it's very old school, but it has that amazing place called the Magic Forest. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but it's that really old school kind of somewhat creepy, kind of dirty, but it's really neat. And that's the kind of stuff that kids are like.
What does it have though? That's
So it's just old rides, and at the entrance of it, it has a giant Santa Claus and a giant Uncle Sam standing next to each other. This is the kind of shit that kids are like, this is great.
Yeah, anything that's giant, you like when you're a kid.
Yeah. They built it like 56 years ago, and then they were like, we're done.
Yeah, this is
You
it.
guys
We
want
don't
to
need
update
any
it?
updates.
No, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does look like it's the late 50s.
Yeah, nothing has changed.
Mhm,
And most
totally.
of them are like falling apart, and they're a little disturbing looking, but it's awesome.
Makes it way more fun. Hey, we don't know if we're going to live through this.
Yeah, I honestly think that that's the stuff that stays with kids forever.
It's the greatest.
Yeah.
It's the greatest. I know as a kid, my dad's a comic, and so we would travel all the time. And it was, where's the pool? And where's the weird, big, old thing? I grew up in Seattle, and in Long Beach, Washington, there's a huge clam that's like 20 feet tall, and on the hour, it shoots water out of it. It's the only thing I remember about it. All of Long Beach. I don't remember anything else. I don't remember where we stayed. All I remember was that huge clam shooting water out on the hour. Dad, can we see the clam?
Yeah.
It's the greatest.
I love anything oversized. By the way, I talked to a woman on the phone one time doing radio, and she was phobic of anything that was larger than it should be. And she was like, she could not go past the big boys. She was just like, I can't fucking do it. And I'm like, that's the greatest phobia I've ever heard of in my life.
Like those giant wiggle arm guys.
Anything.
There's a lot of things like that.
Yeah, big teddy bear. She's like, oh my God, no. I know another person that was phobic about blimps. And they would see a blimp in the air. And this was an adult woman, and she would like literally start to tear up and freak out and say all the time, is it falling? I go, I think so. I think it's coming down.
Yeah, you better run. You better go.
I mean, her phobia was so bad, like she couldn't even see a picture of a blimp, like in a magazine.
God.
It would freak her out.
I have such a hard time believing those people.
You think that they're just making it up.
Get over it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You know that logically, but that's why it's a phobia, is that there's no logic.
Is there any phobia that you have, though? Is there...
I don't like cockroaches, but I'm not.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
I think that's a good thing, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My friend always said about Fear Factor, like it's always like a real fear, and then then they eat shit, and you should be afraid of eating shit. Like that's not a good thing to get over.
When people say I have a phobia of being locked in a coffin, oh no, that's not a phobia.
No, that's a good fear.
Yeah, have that. Keep it. It's like saying I have a phobia of sticking my hand in a fire.
I don't know. It's just me. It's weird. I know.
Yeah. But I always think of that whenever I see something large. I'm like, oh God, I wonder what that woman would be doing right now. Just a giant toy soldier, take her to tears. Yeah. Joe, what is the kitschy kind of Americana thing to do in Minnesota? That's where you're from.
No, I'm from Seattle.
No, Joe over here.
I'm also Joe.
Oh, yeah, that's Joe. That's right. He came and said, I'm Joe also. So if you guys could call him Joe also, I'd appreciate that.
There's the world's biggest ball of twine.
It's
in
only
Minnesota.
4 short hours away. Oh, wait, you have the giant Paul Bunyan
Yeah,
there,
we
too,
have
right?
the giant Paul Bunyan
From
and the
Fargo.
giant Bay Blue Ox up there, too, which is kind of like 1950s roadside attraction type thing.
I would always pull off the road for any of those things.
Yeah.
And I'm a sucker for like Rock City, whatever has a bunch of signs, I will pull over to do.
If you want Ron at your house, you just put up some signs. He'll be there in no time.
Luray Caverns.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah. Those things were hilarious. You just keep going further and further down into a cave.
That's all it is?
Yeah.
It's just a cave.
Well, it's go to Luray Caverns. It's kind of beautiful.
There's like stalactites and mites. I'm not sure
that
which
sounds
one's
like
which.
death,
But
really. That's all.
There's I don't know what it is. It's only a couple bucks, and then you go in there, and then they have an old pipe organ in there that they play.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, and so the sound is probably
Yeah.
incredible because of the acoustics of
Right.
the place. Wow, it's
and
gorgeous.
I started doing a weird dance around under the thing, and everybody was like freaked out about it. Because I like anything too that has like somebody to like show you stuff. Like you'll walk along and they'll have a person telling you, and I always stand too close to them.
Yeah,
I just stand as close as I can, so when they turn around, I'm right in their face.
And then we're just running away.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, no, he's doing it.
I like to after when the tour. I stand right next to the tour guy,
Yeah.
and then as soon as he stops, I cut in.
You just
And a
start to
couple
talk.
other things.
Yeah.
I know about this place. Yeah, you guys might need to.
I like anything at all that the kids would go, "Why are we here?" That is my favorite thing.
Just the significance of it.
Yeah, just watch. You're going to learn something
Yeah,
here. There
I
isn't
know.
shit.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying to children. That was the worst.
But that is the vacation. Now, Chris, you were never a vacation guy?
No, never a vacation guy. But I remember when I went on my first road trip for like spring break down in like Florida, we would just see south of the border constantly.
Oh, I was obsessed.
That's a big one.
And that was like hundreds of miles. And when we finally got there, it was just really weird. And it was like in the middle of the night, so no one was there. So it was really creepy. But it was still awesome because there's a giant cactus character or whatever that was plastered on everything.
Now,
There's a cactus. There was Pedro.
Pedro is what I remember. Did you think he was made out of cactus?
Well, it was a cactus, yeah.
Now, what is south of the border? I'm
South
sorry,
of the border
I'm not-
is just a big tourist trap in between North and South Carolina. It's been around forever.
Okay.
And you go there, and it's basically just junk for the kids.
Yeah, it's
Where
not
you
a cactus at all.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
no, there's nothing cactus
But I
about it.
remember as a cartoon cactus.
He's into breastfeeding, and he thinks Mexicans look like cactuses.
Cacti.
Cacti. I apologize. Wow. Yeah, that's the stuff that's dying because of airline travel.
Airline travel has ruined everything. Because here in New York City, everybody went to the Catskills in the summer because you had to cool off. And the second that they could, start going to Vegas or Miami, that ended.
Right.
But all those people remember the time in the mountains and how great those old kind of shitty rambling hotels were. They loved them.
That's one of the reasons that I like George is like you get a history there and you can go back to it over
Right.
and over and over and you can kind of create those memories. You can go, oh, remember when we did that thing? And then you go back and you create friends that also do that. I mean, there's that thing of like, I growing up had summer friends. People that you just see during the summer. Where are they in the winter? I don't know. I don't care. They're in the summer. We hang out. We go swimming. We do things.
You met them at different places, or
like we did Long Beach every summer, and so I had like 10 friends that happened to be down there almost all summer, and we would just hang out during the summers.
Yeah, that would be it. Yeah, I was the same way. My parents had a beach place on Chesapeake Bay. And it started, and then Labor Day, boom, we never went back.
Yeah.
We never went back and I remember this was always a classic thing. I would get comic books every night. A lady used to drive around and yell out papers. Papers, papers. Her name was Dorcas. And then she also sold comic books in the back seat. So I would buy them I would be able to buy a comic book at night. I'd have this big stack, never take them home, but then come back and have a big stack of comic books to reread the following year. I'm like, why am I into this shit? This is pussy. I'm ready to go bigger.
Dorcas, anything else? Anything new?
But
Dorcas? Who named their child Dorcas?
I don't know.
That's
I don't
horrendous.
know. But she drove around. She would just sell whatever the local papers were where people traveled in from. And then she would have comic books for the kids. And I would just be staring at her back seat like it was like a goddamn treasure. It was amazing to me. I was like, her kids must be the luckiest people ever. You just go out to the back seat, you get comic books.
Your kids must be the luckiest people. She's selling comic books for a nickel. They're not very lucky.
Yeah, it's really true.
Can we please eat? No, just read another comic and shut up.
But that type of thing where I love the idea. See, you grew up in Florida, Gail, where summer doesn't have the same weight because it's always warm. So you're never excited about it.
Yeah, it wasn't until we moved up here that I was like, oh, I get what this is about now.
Yeah.
Why people are obsessed with it. And you spend as much time outside as you can because you've been hibernating for the rest of
People
the
take
year.
off every Friday here in New York. You just don't see people.
The greatest.
Yeah.
It's the greatest.
They roam. What's always funny too is no matter where any of the day trips from New York, you could be up in Maine and then you run into people from your building because everyone is just rushing up. You can't get any good pizza around here. No, because we're
not
Maine.
supposed to. This is lobster town. I try to do whatever is germane to the area when I travel. So that's why I don't do pizza in Maine. I'll go lobster in Maine.
Right.
I had a hot brown in Kentucky. Have you ever had one of those?
No.
Do you know what those are? It's Texas toast, right? And then they put turkey on top of it. and then they put ham on top of that, and then they put bacon on top of that, and then they put fried tomatoes on top of that, and then they cover it with cheese sauce.
Jesus.
Okay. So it's a health food then.
It's
Yeah,
a health,
it's a health
yes,
food.
that's
Look,
it
there it
right
is.
there. Exactly. It is the most delicious thing you'll ever. It's a last meal, though. It should be considered a last meal. You want to die? All right, here's some go out on. It was so good.
And I also like that there's foods that aren't served in other parts of the country. You know what I mean? Like, that's the deal.
Well, that's not special to Kentucky.
Yeah.
I mean, you can lobster in Maine. That's
Right.
okay. That's special to Maine. But that is just, that's a death wish right there. They have to stand by with cardiac paddles. Are you finished? Clear.
You know, I think one of the sadder things that's happened from progress is that cities start to look the same now.
Yeah.
And they actually look like the suburbs. Well, we were just up in Montreal and you're walking down the street and they're the same exact stores than if you're walking through Soho. You're like, why are we traveling?
Yeah.
You know, that's not it. I want to. So you have to go out of your way to find out where the real local people eat and where the local people hang out.
Yeah. Well, that's why I don't like flying with the kids too. Is
Right.
okay, we're gonna do the same shit just somewhere else with a big price tag.
Yeah.
And a lot of discomfort. Why not just stay here?
Yeah, why not just hang out at home then?
Exactly.
But I remember being a little kid and going to Mississippi, leaving from Philadelphia and going to see my relatives in Mississippi. I was in another world. I mean, they were totally different.
Yeah.
They ate different. Their stores were different. Their food was different. They talked different. And now if you go to Jackson, it kind of feels like you're in Fairfax, Virginia. It's just the same feel.
The
you know?
homogenizing of the United States of America.
Yeah, it's you know, I guess everybody wants the nice, comfortable things, but it makes things a little sadder.
That's why I'm always, it blows, since I'm not the person who enjoys that, it blows my mind when I walk through Times Square and I see a line for Applebee's.
Unbelievable.
Like, this is the culinary epicenter of the United States.
I know.
And you're going to eat at Applebee's?
Yeah. I saw a gigantic line for the Singing Diner, right? Just the other day. And I'm like, why do you feel like that? No New Yorker has ever been in to that diner where people sing. Gigantic line for it.
I want show tunes and eggs.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Todd in Chicago, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, hey, I just seen an amazing roadside attraction. We took our first family vacay down to Charlotte, and we stopped at Cave City, Kentucky. It's called Dinosaur World. It's 150 life-size dinosaurs. And my 2-year-old was fucking just blown through the moon.
All right, look at this. They're just these big plaster dinosaurs.
Oh my God, it's so
I'd
great.
be there in a heartbeat.
It looks like Pee-wee.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, it was amazing. He loved it. I don't know who loved it more, the 3-year-old, my son, or the two, his parents that were just absolutely through the moon. I mean, it was really cool.
So
It
you guys
takes you right
just
back to when you were a
happened,
kid.
you just happened to come up on it?
Yeah, we actually got a little help with Google when we heard about it. And it was, just on the way down to Charlotte. Found it. I mean, in the whole town's in real Wisconsin Delta place, where they got bumper boats and all that stuff. But it was just a really cool thing off the beaten path where all of a sudden you see a 10-story dinosaur.
What I think is the best thing is like this was someone's dream project. They had to go to the bank to get money. Giant dinosaurs right here in Kentucky.
I'm going to call it dinosaur.
I would love to have watched that loan officer.
Yeah.
So hold on. You need a mortgage for what?
Yeah.
You're going to be able to what? Giant. How are we making? What's our ROI on that?
Thanks, man.
Last time I was in Kentucky, I drove up north to Ohio, right on the border. There is it's the Christian Museum. It's what is it? It's the museum. A guy made a museum based on the idea that a creationist museum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard of
and
that.
And it's bananas. It's got like dinosaurs like that walking with children. And they're like hanging out and stuff and singing together.
That's how it happened.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly. It's
got it.
so absurd and it's great. And people believe it. They're in it.
It's
yeah, there you go. There's people hanging out with dinosaurs. Which is, I don't even like the Museum of Natural History because they don't know how dinosaurs actually looked.
Right.
And the Brontosaurus, I heard the thing, they said that he might not actually be a dinosaur, that it might not be a real thing. That it might be like bones that they found together.
Yeah.
That's why history, It's the Museum of Lies and astronaut ice cream. That's all it is.
Well, I heard recently, too, they said, well, maybe these dinosaurs had feathers on them.
Yes.
I'm like, what?
Exactly. They
Giant
don't know.
lizards with feathers?
That's why I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Jay. Jay, what do you got, buddy?
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
The good website, Roadside America, it gives you like a map of all these crazy things online. So anytime I'm going somewhere, I always plug it in, see what's bad. But my favorite one is in Margate, New Jersey, down by Atlantic City. It's Lucy the Elephant. You ever heard of that one?
No.
Five-story elephant. They built in like the 1900s as an attraction. Like, how do we get people to come to this shitty town? Yeah. And the elephant's still there. You can go in it. Fun time.
I've never been to Margate. I know where it's at, but I've never been there.
I listened to a thing on NPR where this was actually the very first roadside attraction.
No way.
Yeah, it was the first thing because it was built in like 1910, something like that. And the guy built it. It was right as cars were becoming mass purchased, and he was like, "How the hell do we get anybody to come here?" Big dinosaur.
He's just a big dinosaur.
What do we got? Big elephant? All right, cool. Let's do that.
And then, he wakes up and there's all these cars lined up. Yeah. Look at that fucking big dinosaur.
I did it.
That's how bored people were in 1910. It's like, let's drive to the dinosaur.
I would still, it looks amazing. And you'd be able to say, take my picture next to the big dinosaur. There used to be, this is what's changed and it's kind of sad about Florida. Florida, of course, has Disney World and the Universal and SeaWorld. But there used to be these really campy, weird things down there. And I remember some of them I took the kids to when they were old, but we went to Gatorland, where it was just nothing but alligators in these paths, right? And at one point, we're looking over and like, that gator has something in its mouth. And it was
one of the children?
No, it had another gator's severed head.
Oh,
and it was just walking around.
Yep.
This is for the kids.
And I'm telling you, the quantity of gators would not be legal any other place.
No, there was gators laying on top of each other.
Like it was just like 100 gators in like a little tiny pond.
The look on your face when he said another gator severed head, you just relived that moment 1,000 times.
I did. So bad.
That caused some nightmares, didn't it?
There's also a glass bottom boat down there. I can't remember where it is, but I think this was a great thing.
Like Crystal Springs or something like that. It was on
Crystal River somewhere. And they had shot old Tarzan movies there, right? But when the Hollywood people left, they just left the monkeys behind.
Real monkeys?
And there's monkeys that are just wildly living along this. Yeah.
Florida has that problem all the time because they have really bad regulations when it comes to exotic animals. And then it's, perfect climate for them to, live. They're able to thrive even though they're not indigenous to that area.
What you'll see down there is like canaries that live outside that flew out of their things, and they found other canaries and they'll just be in a tree. And we're like, are those wild canaries? And people are like, not exactly wild. Didn't start out that way.
Escaped.
So that's their problem with the giant boa constrictors. Like they're
they
breeding
could just
out
live.
there because it's perfect environment, but they were not meant to be there.
Oh my God.
They're just...
Well, I was reading this just today about Colombia, that they now have hippos from the cartel guys who bought hippos and brought them there. And they said that the number of hippos in Colombia doubles every 5 years.
Oh, God.
And they're like, in 20, 30 years, we're going to have a real hippo problem here.
God.
Eduardo got a hippo. I need a hippo. He cannot outdo me with the hippos.
Matt in Wichita. How you doing, Matt?
Hey, Ron. I was calling about out in Klamath, California. There's a Babe the Blue Ox that everyone pulls over to see. And it's got giant balls on it. So there's all these pictures of people taking...
Oh, because everyone likes the big nuts on it.
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
I would have loved that. Bob in Virginia. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Ronnie, I'm doing great. A couple things. First, Gail mentioned not being able to tell the difference between stalactites and stalagmites, and I had the problem all my life.
Growing up and growing down.
Until I remembered that the stalactites with a T are from the top.
Mm-hmm. So now you have it.
Now I got it.
Now the
Thank
next time
you.
that comes up, Gail,
I'll know.
you'll be.
And you're talking about the Florida attractions. What about the old water ski shows?
Cypress Gardens was one of those spots.
Yeah,
where
they used to stack them up.
Yeah. There was also a thing, too, where a girl, like young girls, local girls, were in a tank and they were mermaids and they would have these vines and you just see them going and breathing out of the vine and they would smile at you.
I think it was Wiki Wachi.
Wiki Wachi.
That's
It was
right.
really, really
Yeah.
classic stuff.
Yeah. There's a comic here in New York City who did a fake reality show where he went down there and he actually tried to be the first merman at Wiki Wachi, and it's like 5 episodes and he's learning how to do it, and it's hysterical.
But it's like a rite of passage for some of the girls who live in that town. It's like being prom queen. And I don't know, little kids just love it. They just absolutely are crazy about it. I also like any park that's like Christmas all year long.
Yeah.
So I think there's a couple of those upstate too, where you go there in the summer and it's just Christmas stuff.
It's the best.
Here's Chewy in Austin. How you doing, man?
Hey there.
Yeah.
Just south of Austin, in between Austin and San Antonio, there's a place called Snake Farm. And it's been there since I was a little kid. It's more like a punishment than it is a roadside attraction. It's terrifying. There's a bunch of aquariums, but there are terrariums set up, and you're in an alley that basically has room for 2 people to get through, and there's snakes and spiders on either side of you. You can't get away from them. They also had like a prairie dog field in the back where they just have prairie dogs popping up, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm crazy about prairie dogs too. If you didn't grow up with them, you just think that they're amazing and cute. But if you did grow up with them, you hate them. You know? Yeah. It's like we don't care about squirrels.
Yeah.
You know? That's how people out there feel about prairie dog. So we were just running around, look, prairie dog. You know? So what?
The coolest thing they had there, though, there was they had a gorilla in the back. And for like $5 or something, you could give him a root beer and he would drink it.
That's well worth it. That's $5 well spent.
Unfortunately, I think he died of diabetes.
Yeah, well, I don't think they were built for root beer drinking.
No, not at all. All right, thanks, guys.
We used to have that chimp farm down near us.
Chimp farm.
And they were just in concrete cages.
Yep.
And they would throw shit at you.
Yep.
They would
That was
literally
part of the
shit in their
fun.
hands.
Was
and
that for
chuck it.
$5?
Yeah, no.
You
They would
$5
just
for that one too?
They would do that. They're basically, that's chimp for leave. Is that
you?
from here? Yeah. Just started rocking hard.
Really hard.
Are we wailing now?
Siri, pause.
Joe Larson's in studio with us. Babies Behaving Badly premieres next Friday, September 4th at 8 p.m. on Discovery Family and TLC. Go to discovery.com for more information. On Twitter, it's @WhatAboutJoe.
Here's Murray in Tallahassee.
Hey, what's up, gang? There's a giant lobster sculpture in Isla Mirada, Florida, just as you're going down toward Key West that people stop at all the time. It's huge.
Well, I always just want to stop anywhere on that trip down to Key West. It's always a lot longer than you think it's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
And who doesn't want to see a big... I like it, too, because you can see... It's
badass.
It's a Florida thing too, because it doesn't have the big claws.
The spiny lobster.
Yeah, when you get lobster down there, you're like, "Where's the claws?" Not getting them, dude.
I went to Vieques last winter, and which is right off Puerto Rico, and we went down to the docks, and there's just guys pulling in tons of lobsters, and we got 2 huge ones. We weren't ready to eat yet, so we brought them back and put them in the sink, and they fought, and one of them killed the other.
Oh my god!
It was crazy. My daughter's like, "What are they doing?" I'm like, I don't know.
They'll actually do that in the pot too while they're steaming.
Oh,
they play
God.
with each other.
Yeah.
You did this to me.
There's times to tear you up on those things, though.
Peace. The when you go into Hemingway's house down there, there's these cats that are so inbred because they have extra toes or something.
Yeah, they're called something.
Pedactyl.
Yeah.
Pedactyl cats with
Yeah.
an extra they have 6.
Why is that though?
Because it was one of his cats had that, and then they were breeding over and over, and it was just a trait that got carried on. So they're the descendants of Hemingway's 5-toed cat.
It's so weird.
Wow.
So weird.
And they're so cute because it looks like they're wearing mittens, which is pretty adorable. That's pretty damn cute.
It's extra. It's weird.
Little kitten mittens. They're pretty cute.
Steve.
Hey, if you want to see a good Christmas town, go to Frankenmuth, Michigan. Even the gas stations are Christmassy.
All right, I'm going to check this out.
I do want to do that.
And that's an all-year-round thing?
It's right in the middle of the state, approximately, and everything is Tudor architecture.
Where on the palm? Where exactly would I be looking on the palm of Michigan? Do you ever see people from Michigan?
It's a little bit right of the center.
Okay, good. All right, see, I would be a sucker to take kids to this stuff. I love that kind of shit.
The one thing you always forget, though, when you decide to go to these things is you're going to spend a fortune in the gift shop.
For garbage.
just
Absolute garbage.
For stuff that you're probably going to throw away the next time you stop to pee.
Yeah. It's just absolutely, and for some reason you're eating fudge.
Yeah,
I don't know,
always.
all these places, they're like, we should get some fudge.
Why not? It's vacation. It's fudge time.
I
Really.
never wanted fudge anywhere else in my life. I never thought to myself, like, you know, it's a Tuesday. Maybe I should go get some fudge.
Honey, you going out?
Yeah.
Get some fudge.
Gosh,
I
you're out of
already
fudge.
made some. I made some already.
You're just driving in the car. Is that fudge left?
It's the only time.
This one's so good. It's got peanut butter.
Why? Alex in Idaho.
Yeah, hey, Bennington.
Hey, man.
So, all these people calling in with these cool stories about their, cool attractions. My town failed miserably growing up. They had the world's largest egg sitting on a stand on a corner. It was horrendous. No one liked it. Everyone hated it. And it wasn't even really egg-shaped.
No, we're looking at it right now. It's bizarre.
Right in the middle of town. It was so bizarre.
What town is this?
This is Winlock, Washington.
Man, Washington, when you get off the coast, it gets really weird.
It gets backwards quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a gun pulled on me at a show in rural Washington.
Yeah.
It was only 20 miles outside of Seattle city limits. It was Lake Stevens, Washington. It was the Buzz Inn Steakhouse. A guy was heckling. And I gave him 2 minutes. I said, you obviously want to just talk, so here's 2 minutes of my time. Go ahead. And so he doesn't have anything to say. So I said, what's your name? He goes, Jeff. Okay, Jeff. What do you do for a living? He goes, I'm unemployed. Okay, what did you do for a living? I was a roofer. What happened? Got fired. Okay. You got married? Divorced. You got kids? Yeah. Who do they stay with? Mom. Do you ever see him? Only on Saturdays for an hour. Okay, all this stuff, just digging a hole.
Right.
And I go, okay, Jeff, I gave you 2 minutes. I was nice. I was polite. I didn't interrupt you. I'm going to ask the same of you. And so I go to my next joke. As soon as I hit the punchline, he talks. I'm like, and that's why you can't see your goddamn kids. This is why your wife left you and you can't hold down a job. You're going to be out of that trailer soon if you don't. And he got pissed and he stormed out. And I was like, great, perfect. That's what I wanted. I wanted him to leave. I finished my set. I go to leave. I'm not a very big guy, but the manager just I'm about to leave the doors and the manager grabs me by the waist and picks me up and I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, you're not leaving. And I'm like, what the this is, I'm so upset. And he goes, nope, Jeff got his gun again.
He's known for it.
Exactly. I go, are you going to call the cops? And he's like, and he goes against Jeff's friends and they go get the gun from him and they put him in the car and the guy comes back and goes, have your girlfriend pull the car around. You got about 4 minutes.
Oh, Jesus.
My God.
Yeah. That's how quick it gets not. Yeah.
Well, did you see the news today that the news girls on TV and got killed on live TV? Her and the cameraman. Yeah. It was out of Virginia. It was the crazy. Now, here's the other nuttier part of the story. The guy's disgruntled, pissed off that I guess they went for a newer, younger person.
He's an employee.
He used to be on the TV station there. He shot video of him doing this, uploaded it to YouTube before he fucking shot himself. Yeah.
Oh my.
Is that the craziest shit you've ever heard in your life? This is American now.
I don't even, it's taken a second to even comprehend. He lost his job.
I guess he lost or just wasn't happy with, all they're saying is he was disgruntled. She's young, like 24. The guy's 26, the cameraman. They're at a water park. And this fucking dude just walks up on them on live TV while they're doing this. Tell us what's going to be happening at the water park over the weekend. Just bullshit, regular TV stuff. Oh, and he starts popping. I mean, all the stuff is up online
Of course.
if you want to see it. But I haven't watched
I don't know if I want to watch that.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. What's also weird is when the girl who's like the newscaster back at the station has just this shocked look on her face. Of
Oh my god! Yeah, 'cause they got to cut back to
horror.
her.
Yeah.
And she goes, we'll find out what that noise was when we have a chance. But she knew, you know what I mean?
Oh my
She knew
God.
somebody just came in there gunning.
Oh my
And that could
God.
happen to you. That could
That could have been you and
while
Jeff.
Yeah, while you're telling that Jeff story, sooner or later you'll watch the news like, fuck, I knew that dude. I knew he was going to do it sooner or later.
Yeah, fucking Jeff.
Jeff got
Oh
it
my
going
God,
again.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
That speaks to that idea of like quit giving murderers the
Right.
social media time. Quit giving them the attention because, I mean, he got what he wanted essentially, which was an incredible amount of attention.
Yeah, he's already shot himself since. So
Yeah.
he had enough time to upload to YouTube. And then
What cell
yeah.
phone service does he have?
Uh,
no, I'm just kidding. That's a horrible joke.
And then he also, they said, sent a 23-page manifesto to ABC television, probably saying, if you guys would have given me a gig years ago, none of this would happen.
Oh my God, that's
It's a really small little town, so it was really like, it was like first job, I think, for most news people.
And they're so young, both the newscaster
Yeah.
and the cameraman. They're young kids in their 20s. It's
And,
really
you know,
horrible.
it's also, it's not, none of this is okay.
Mm-hmm.
But also, he didn't even target the people that have any, like these,
Exactly
this is
right.
just a person.
Right.
It's like wanting a job as a bus driver, so you shoot a bus driver. That's not the person who hires or fires. Like this isn't even, you're not even eliciting that kind of change.
Right.
Yeah.
What's really weird, I think what's really kind of changed with that now is that when people feel bad, they want to spread it. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
want other people to feel bad, that their little feelings are so fucking important. It's not like everyone doesn't suffer. People
Right.
suffer.
Oh, yeah.
Rich people suffer. Poor people suffer. Just because they're not showing you doesn't mean people don't go back to their house and go, what the fuck?
It's the human condition.
Yeah, what the fuck? All right, I'm gonna take a shower and head into that shitty job and act like I'm
Exactly.
happy with it. You know, but a lot of times you're like, oh, look at his big house. You don't realize the guy's probably got a fucking enormous debt.
Yeah.
It's about to crush down on him. It happens all the time, and yet for some reason, we just feel like we're the only ones to feel bad. We're the only ones.
Well, and also I think social media is also furthers that along in that when you go on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, what are people are only talking about what's going great in their life. So
Yeah.
you go like, oh, now everybody's got a new car and a new house,
Right.
and I'm the only one. You know,
If you even watch like Kelly and Michael in the morning, everybody's loves to work out. No one ever says I hate it. Everyone's so happy and like they're never saying, you know what, I'm paying my agents and managers and I'm doing this shitty movie and I already know it's going to flop because I've seen numbers on it, but it's my job to go out and pitch this and smile to you. No one is that honest, but most of the people who I meet in show business, and I meet a lot of really, really big people, they're like, fucking studios, I hate them.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
But then the the mics go on and they do their song and dance. They got to.
it is fun meeting the people up in show business that I've gotten the chance to meet and understanding their frustration, because it made me realize that like I better enjoy this.
Sure.
Like I'm not going to get to a place where everything's great. You know, it's always going to be some new struggle, new fight. And so I better enjoy the struggle, like enjoy the process of it, because that's all you got.
Well, it's always, you know, when you see like Ray Romano's going, this fucking business, you're like, what? What? But you gotta, you're still getting, but everyone kind of feels that way, you know?
Yeah.
It's not easy being a person. That's all. You don't go running out and start shooting other people in a fucking water park because you didn't get the job you wanted. gives a shit?
What a baby.
Yeah, and there's nothing fucking less important in the world right now than TV news. Talk about people who sit around and make shit up. I mean, that's what killed me. I'm like, she's in the middle. Yeah, she's in the middle of the worst
I
fucking
know.
interview.
You think
her
he would
little
walk
career.
up and go, "Oh, wait, this is what I'm so upset about"?
Yeah.
because I need to be in her position right now.
Yeah. So tell us what's happening at the water park this weekend.
That is actually kind of funny. I want the worst job. If you guys are going to give me the worst job, I'm going to lose my shit.
Yeah, it's true though. It's true. And then what's always funny too is it doesn't matter where you are. Is that the fucking people down the hall or upstairs are like they don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like you could be at Sony, at Fox News, whatever. All the people are trying to do this thing, and then there's people are going like, nah, I don't know. We're going to make some changes.
Right. Everybody's replaceable.
Everybody's replaceable.
I think that's the other thing is nobody thinks about you. That's another thing. Like a lot of people that go, oh, well, they're trying to fuck me or they're trying to screw me or no, they're not. They're just making decisions to save their own ass. Right. And you happen to be the piece that gets cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're told if you don't fucking get a budget, you're fired, and they'll fire anybody. They don't give a shit. Like, I'm the firing guy, I guess, then. Yeah. Send him down here. I remember when Dave Chappelle said that he, didn't want to, do that $50 million deal. He said that he got to meet the real white people. And there's dudes like, we think that they're the bosses, they ain't. There's someone above them.
Yeah.
Someone who's not in the newspaper.
Mr. Burns.
Yeah. There's just dudes like, you can't believe how fucking sinister badass they are. The real white people. Thanks so much for stopping in, man. It's always great to see you. Let's do this. Let's not wait so long next
Definitely.
time.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
And congratulations with the show, too.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Babies Behaving Badly premieres next Friday, September 4th at 8 p.m. on Discovery Family and TLC. Go to discovery.com for more information. And on Twitter, Joe Larson, it's at whataboutjoe.
That's it. We'll be right back. I just heard the funniest Mike Racine story. He's got a brand new video out where they completely do the Goodfellas sketch.
It is funny.
It is. Jackie Santi says, leave it to you guys to have me hysterically laughing one moment and pondering the human condition the next. Sorry, I guess is what you would say to that.
You gotta be quick with us.
You gotta be quick. We're fast like that.
From Mary PA.
That's how we do things up. Erie, PA. One night we stayed up like midnight.
That song really had us grooving.
Yeah, it did. I noticed as any piece of music is played, Joe has to move.
Yes. He loves to move.
I have to dance.
You're a musical boy.
Yeah.
He's a dancer.
A music man, if you will.
He aches for the ballet. He's a ballet ache. Coming up in just a bit, it's all part of the what's the name of the whole thing?
Innovators of Entertainment, brought to you by Tito's Vodka.
And who do we have today?
The owner of the Comedy Cellar here in New York City, Mr. Noam Dworman.
So exciting.
Well, it's exciting, and Noam is... Well, let me tell you that occasionally in this city, there's that kind of place that people gather where they know that they're with the creative people of their generation. Toots Shor had it back in the 1950s. From the early 70s on, it was Elaine's.
Yeah.
Where if you went to Elaine's, you would see people that you would normally, read about in magazines. They were authors, they were sports figures. And that's what the Cellar is now. The Comedy Cellar has people who are movie stars, TV stars, writers, some, the greatest comics of their generation are in a small room, and that obviously brings in other folks, and it becomes this hangout place where, you walk in there, and if you're just particularly if you're in New York City on vacation, and you walk in and see it, you're like, this is what I thought New York was going to be about.
Yeah.
It normally isn't. The New York that you have in your mind, you have to go out and find different places. Comedy Cellar is one of those spots.
Absolutely. And the shows are always so surprising who you'll get. It's
Right.
always someone great.
Yeah, the reality of it is, even if you don't know the person, they're great because they're at the Cellar.
Right.
If they weren't at the Cellar, it wouldn't be. I remember the 70s, the Comedy Store had the same kind of vibe where every comic would have this story like, oh, I came in and I got bumped for Steve Martin, so I was going to go up after Steve Martin. And then Richard Pryor came in, so I was bumped back. And then, and it goes on and on like that. The Cellar has that kind of vibe, like you're saying this thing like, oh, I can't believe it. And then even another comic comes in. But even if you don't know the person, right?
Yeah.
They're killer because they're in that league.
Yeah.
So to talk to Noam about this, and by the way, he does the show here Thursday nights, and they replay it at different times. Saturday, I believe it replays every 7 o'clock on the East Raw Dog Comedy. It's a table that some people call the comedian's table or whatever, where the guys will hang out, have a little adult beverage, or maybe knock back a couple Coca-Colas,
Sure.
have a little something to eat, and they sit around and, talk to each other. And it's as funny as any show. He'll do, Noam will set up mics, and they'll do the show from there. It's an incredibly cool idea.
It's so smart.
Yeah, it's really, really smart. Well, everything about the way that they're doing is smart. When they added the Comedy Underground, and I told this to Dave Attell, when Attell did his TV show there, I thought it was the best stand-up show, done completely right, and the room looked terrific. The room really captured what it's like to be in that place. It's a really cool setup. It's just cool that something like that's happening right now. It's almost good for everything, even things that aren't comedy related. It's good for the Village. It's good for New York City. Just good to have that kind of vibe going on.
Yeah, well, venues like that, I think, inspire others to do the same, even if it's within music or whatever your scene is, if it's theater or poetry or whatever.
Well, what's the club, Largo in LA? I love the fact that thing happens in those type of shows, even though I'm never out there.
Yeah.
But anytime I'll read about it, I'm like, that's what a show should be. That's, if I ran a club, that's what, everyone always has that fantasy that they would run a perfect club. What the food would be, what the kind of entertainment would be. It's just good that that's going on somewhere, anywhere. All right, so we'll get to Noam in just a few minutes, Chris.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Gail has a big announcement. Finally, peace has come to the planet Earth.
Peace is coming, and the olive branch has been passed. I think that's what you do with an olive branch.
Yeah, you pass an olive branch.
I think you do.
I think if you swallow one, you'll definitely pass it on.
Do not do it.
Yeah.
Burger King has proposed an idea that to promote peace on Peace Day, which is September 21st, they said, let's come together, two giants, Burger King and McDonald's, to create, for one day only, the McWhopper.
The McWhopper.
Whoa.
Yes. So they're saying, let's take everything great about you. Let's take everything great about us.
You got Whopper in my McDonald's.
Exactly.
Let me just tell you something. I think that this is the greatest marketing idea that I've ever heard. Both restaurants would sell the McWhopper on the same day.
What they would do is they would do a pop-up kind of restaurant that is separate from their own, and it would be a halfway half McDonald's, half Burger King, and they would serve this burger. This would be the featured thing. And Burger King has already put out a video saying, hey, we've got the idea. Come on, McDonald's. Like, will you do it? Will you make burgers special again?
I think it's the greatest marketing idea I've ever heard of. I can't imagine that every son of a bitch on this rock wouldn't want to run out and do it.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's an event.
Badly. How can
I
McDonald's
just want to
say no?
see it. I want to see this happen.
McDonald's, make it real. Say yes. Say yes.
Then my idea might be able to come true.
What's that?
The Coke Pepsi.
Oh, great idea. See, I'm holding out for another union. I'm thinking Long John Silver's and Taco Bell. World's worst fish taco. That's what I want.
The inedible fish taco.
Yes. So disgusting. I'll have 5, please.
I bet, though, you're right, that other people will try this shit if it happens.
Yeah, are you kidding? And it's so smart, too. Burger King's looking so classy right now. It's about peace.
If
and
McDonald's says no, they're garbage.
they look like shit. If they,
Yeah.
How can they say no? There's no way they can say no.
They can
Because
only
they're number
say
one, I
yes.
guess.
They can only say yes.
I guess if you're number one, you would say, why would I want to give them any attention? But you're giving them attention right now.
Yes, by saying no, that's
And it's
attention.
almost like you're saying you're against world peace and world meta peace, which is even more important.
Yeah, I love them.
I will be there if that thing happens.
Nick, I have some bad news for you.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
There was a statement released by a McDonald's CEO, and he pretty much just shit all over him for putting him in this spot of exactly what you guys are saying. If we say no, then we look like shit. So they just say, yes, we do a lot of good work. Next time, just give us a phone call. Stop trying to fucking make him put us in this corner.
No.
So they
Why
said
wouldn't they
no?
just do it?
Yeah, what's the big goddamn deal? The cheeseburger.
They're now saying because they're afraid that they're going to call this thing a McWhop. And
That's what I am.
You are. But it's going to make 2 different ethnic groups upset. Nick, I want you to immediately call Ray Kroc for me. He is the owner of McDonald's, and tell him I want this to happen. It must happen.
This is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I can't believe they would say no. They look so shitty right now. They look like little babies. Stop being babies, McDonald's. Grow up and give me that McWhopper, goddammit. I want it so bad. And I'm not even like the biggest fast food fan, but this is making me crazy. Like, I want to know. I want to know what it's like.
Are you pregnant?
No.
Okay, good.
I don't think so.
So nervous.
Let me check my app.
Joe?
I didn't do anything.
He's a music man.
You seem to be the ladies' man around here.
I'm just a cosmic dancer.
Yeah. Cosmic dancer, he calls himself. What? I don't even know if he... I wanted him to go out and buy us some of these. Do I need to give you money, Joe, for this?
No, money's not an issue for me. It's on me, guys. Let's just buy a Whopper and a Big Mac and then just make it ourselves.
And slap it in Ray Kroc's dead face.
How you like this, old man? Huh?
You played one. You played knick-knack on my thumb.
I can't believe it. I can't believe they would say no. I mean, the joy that I felt when I saw this proposal.
All right. They also McDonald's put this out. What kind of douchebag would think that we would ever do this?
Come on.
So now I'm a douchebag because I believe in hope and peace and dreams.
Yes. It's exactly what the term douchebag means.
Does?
Yeah. People who believe.
Well, then call me a douchebag because I believe in those things. Particularly peace.
Not on a day like today. It's a sad day today.
This could have brought us all together.
Oh,
God damn it.
When you said this, I mean, first of all, there hasn't been anything that's fucking ever interested me about the fast food industry. But when you said this, I just love the idea of 2 corporations using peace as a reason to do something this fucking stupid. I thought it would have been amazing.
So smart.
Well, McDonald's is pissed.
McDonald's is coming off like shit. And you're right. On a day like today, we could have used this good news. We could have used the peace and the union.
And by the way, any stuff that you hear about McDonald's corporate, it's always bad news these days, too. I mean, that was a company that for years could do no wrong. And now it seems like they can do no right. They just struggle, and they're talking about closing restaurants and this and that. And this could have been great. The McWhopper.
Would have been the best.
Not going to happen. We got to do a catch-up break.
Yeah, we got to catch up.
And then what do we got, Chris?
You have the owner of the Comedy Cellar here in New York City, Noam Dworman, coming in for the Innovators of Entertainment segment. Brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Tito's Vodka is distilled 100% from corn, and it is
naturally gluten-free.
You want to get it for yourself?
There you go.
I want you to just take it from the top, and just people know that you're doing a live read, and that's all part of this.
Noam Dworman, owner of the Comedy Cellars, coming in studio. He's all part of the Innovators of Entertainment segment, brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka, distilled 6 times from 100% corn and naturally gluten-free. Come visit us at titosvodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, handcrafted to be savored responsibly.
We'll take a break. We'll be back with Noam Dworman. The Comedy Cellar show airs Thursday, 7 o'clock in the East on Raw Dog Comedy Club. It replays Saturday, 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. in the East. Go to comedycellar.com for all showtimes at the Cellar. As we say, this is right now New York's and America's premier comedy club. We'll be right back with Noam Dworman.
Welcome back to Bennington, and this is the Innovators of Entertainment, brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka, distilled 6 times from 100% corn and naturally gluten.
And the Comedy Cellar show airs Thursday, 7 o'clock in the East on Raw Dog Comedy Club. And I'm so glad to have him in here, Noam Dworman. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
First of all, congratulations, because to the position that the club is in right now, it's pretty unique, I think. It's unique in comedy history.
I appreciate you saying that. It's unique in our history. There were other clubs that had very big successes, like the Improv Cash Rising Star. I guess. Yeah. I know the Comedy Store on the West Coast is experiencing kind of a renaissance now. But I think you're right. I don't want to be a bragger, you know, but it does seem unprecedented. We have 2 rooms now, and we're selling out like 35 shows a week.
And it's here's what I think works about the club too: that there's an audience that shows up to the club that expects something terrific to happen all the time, and I think it raises the game of everybody that's coming in.
You know, it was been a long, slow burn at the club in building up, and we always resisted papering the house with the methods that other people were using, going out Times Square, handing out tickets, all this kind. Even to the extent where we would have like 20 people in the audience, and we'd have the waitresses take off their aprons and sit down and try to pretend they were.
Yeah.
Because we always felt that there was no future in that. We were going to essentially cut ourselves off at the knees, and it paid off. You know, and it really was gradual. It paid off over. I mean, it's been building up over like 15 years.
Yeah,
no kind of overnight success at all.
So, was there any point during some of the lesser years that you thought to yourself, you know, we could be doing so many other things with this room? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you really did. There really were times.
Well, there was always this, you know, we would have one show during the week and 2 shows on the weekend. So there was a lot of downtime. As a matter of fact, when we first started, there was a comedy show, and then it was became a piano bar.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have an empty room, and you always wonder what the hell. So we were, you know, we owned the real estate there, and then I had the Cafe Juan next door, which was very successful while I had it. So it kind of, we lived with it. But yeah, absolutely. It was like a big thing.
Yeah. Comedy clubs and churches, they tend to sit empty a lot of time. You know, you have the show, and then a restaurant would never dream of, okay, for 2 hours a day, we're dark.
It's funny though, now that I'm older and I have 2 little kids.
Yeah.
It's what I love about the Comedy Cellar, because it opens late and closes early. And then I don't have to be bothered. I'm happy when we're closed. I'm holding my kids. So it's kind of I'm a
Yeah,
lucky
there's
guy.
nothing going on there without you that you're going to get a phone call.
That's right.
Oh my God, something. Could you rush back down here immediately?
I have a bar around the corner.
Yeah.
It's open until 4:30.
Yeah.
And it's always tense. It's fights and all kinds of
Sure.
stuff, you know. Sometimes the comedians get drunk after the show, go around the corner getting fights.
Well, you know, you brought up Cafe Wah, which goes back to, when did that club start?
You know, the Wah, the original Cafe Wah closed in 1968. Closed. And then when I got out of school, my father used to own that room. It was a Middle Eastern nightclub. And I took it over and I started a rock and roll band. I'm a musician. And it became really, really popular. So I had to choose a new name for the club. And I said, well, this used to be the Cafe Wah. Let me choose Cafe Wah. It was a big, big mistake because now it's become super famous all over the world again. And now people think it's the same club that was in the 60s. But actually there was a 20-year, when I took the name, when I took the name, people were asking me, what the hell is that, you know?
Yeah.
So, so then it's been open again since, I guess 88.
Well, you know, in the history of the Village, when you think of stuff that happens, it really is comedy is the one kind of constant throughout, let's say, the last 50 or 60 years.
Comedy and music too, no?
Yeah, but it's music, but the music tends to change, you know, to what's ever happening. But the comedy today, you know, Bill Cosby from 1963 would be able to walk into the Cellar and do a set. Joan Rivers from 1964, Woody Allen. Where I don't know if all the same folk artists in the Village at that time would have been, you know.
I don't know.
You think it would still work?
If Dylan walked in.
Yeah. Well, Dylan. Okay.
There's a few.
Yeah, I'm going to give us Dylan no matter what year.
All right. That wasn't fair.
Yeah. But don't you think that whatever happened, because really what happened then in the early 60s kind of changed comedy right up to what it is now. You know, they stopped telling jokes. They start telling stories. And if you go down there now, and David Tell and Louis C.K. are definitely in the tradition of those early 60s guys.
Yeah, and I guess the 60s in the Village is when storytelling really began and jokes
Right.
kind of went out of fashion.
Yeah.
So you're right about that. Although there was a long period kind of where there wasn't much comedy in the Village until the Cellar reopened, you know.
Yeah. What years were you saying there that it got a little dry? 70s, 80s?
Yeah, from basically, I guess ironically, from when the Cafe Wah closed in 68.
Yeah.
Till the Cellar opened again in 81, I guess there really wasn't much comedy.
Then everything went uptown at that point.
Yeah, that's
in
when
terms of comedy.
Yeah, the improv.
You know, the club now, of course, is very famous. People want to get their picture taken in front of it. I see a lot of videos online where people are doing Louis' walk from, you know, right up to
Right down the stairs, and I want to shake Steve Fabricant's hand.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
But you know, that's
His parents are very proud.
Yeah, that's the type of thing that you really can't put, you know, a marketing price tag on that. You just have no idea, because what's happening over there now, for all we know, could be happening 25 years from now, that people still be watching those reruns and still want to do that. You know?
Well, you know, I hope so. You know, we don't and never have advertised at all. So this is like the first marketing we've ever had.
Is that right?
Yeah. And it's huge, and it kind of crept up on us in the same way that Louis' show Louis' show wasn't an overnight hit, I don't believe.
No, it wasn't supposed to be, right? It was going to be this little thing that he was doing for himself, more or less.
Yeah, so I'd have the same thought. I mean, sometimes I watch like an old I Love Lucy show, and I'm like, oh my God, could Louis' show still be showing the Comedy Cellar, you know, to my grandkids?
Yeah.
It'd be fantastic if it does.
But, you know, if you go uptown, people still go there looking for the diner from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Tom's up there, or people in Boston still go looking for the Cheers thing, and that's just outside stuff. The Cellar is in the credits and also during the show. He's in there doing the show. It's kind of a really incredibly cool thing.
It's an amazing act of graciousness on his part that he did that for us. You know, I know Louis a long time. My father knew him much better, but we're not and never have been like close friends,
Right.
you know, just, I think always just held each other in a high regard. And I mean, he used to argue with my father. He told, when Jon Stewart was in the other night, I was at the table listening, and he actually told Jon Stewart that my father had taught him how to think. So, now I don't think he ever told my father that while he was alive, you know. So I think that's kind of the base, just a lot of respect and high regard. But what he did for us was, you know, unbelievable.
And one of the reasons, I would say they taught you how to think, is because you guys are that home to comedy. You have the table for comedians to sit down and interact, which is, again, one of those things where you look at it now and you might go, oh, that's cool. But 20, 25 years from now, we might look back on it like it's history, you know, it's this perfect time.
Yeah. Well,
in comedy history.
It was the inspiration for Colin Quinn's Tough Crowd.
Right.
Was the table way back when. And, you know, when Geraldo was alive, my father alive, it was very, very political. It's the key to the Comedy Cellar. It's not the stage. The Comedy Cellar is a nice room. It really is. And so is the Underground. But the heartbeat of the place is that table. Chris Rock will come down often just to sit at the table, not to perform. And a lot of very important people will come down just to hang out at the table with no intention of going on. Sometimes they get seduced and they want to go on. But I think like when I go to work, my main focus is the table. Is it being taken care of? Is nobody bothering them? Are they being treated properly? Because, you know, the staff gets very complacent seeing super famous people all the time. Before you know, they can't get a drink either.
Yeah.
So that's really what I worry about. And what a great lifestyle to be able to hang out with these smart, funny people all the time. It's fun.
I just always think it's amazing. And again, you go back in New York City's history.
A lot of them like Trump, by the way.
Well,
you'd be surprised.
Yeah, a lot of them do like Trump, because Trump is kind of like a comic in a lot of ways.
He speaks his mind. They like that.
Yeah, certainly more now than I even think before. But I always think about, like, when we're talking about making the table right. If you look back at those Max's Kansas City, you know, pictures and stuff.
My mother used to wait tables there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
From the 1970s, they would have the back room, and, you know, I guess they thought even some of those guys, oh, he drops in all the time. But now you look at it and it's, you know, Lou Reed and Bowie, the New York Dolls, and the list goes on and on. To be able to set up that scene, right, I think is as important to creativity as everything else that takes place.
Yeah, but it happened, it didn't happen by design, you know. I mean, I doubt it happened by design at Max's Kansas City either. It happened because the person making the decisions knew what was important and was in it for the right reasons. It's not going to happen at a place where they're focusing simply on putting people in the seats and papering the room and stuff like that.
Right.
It happens when an owner actually wants to have a scene, you know, where and that's the way it always was in my family. It wasn't just about the show. It was the whole lifestyle, you know, having the comics there. And it was my father's, and it's my social life. So that.
For that exact reason, I think that's why it's such a great club for comedy lovers too.
Right.
I mean, you can't deny what a kind of electric experience it is in there, and I think that you feel a part of it when you're in the
Do you
room.
feel it's more electric than other clubs?
I think that there is something about it. When I first got turned on to it, when the first time I went years ago, I was in shock. The amount of people that were coming in and out of there that we didn't even know we were signing up for. You know, we had just come to see comedy, and I've seen Louis there, I've seen Amy Schumer there, Colin Quinn, and I was like, whoa. I didn't know. I mean, I was just saying, oh, let's go see some comedy on a Wednesday night.
But see, that's why I feel for the people who come to New York, they get stopped in Times Square and they're seeing some of those other shows, because I think what they're looking for is that experience of, you know, we were talking before about when you're a kid and you're sitting up close at a ball game, and a ball player walks by you when you're a kid. You can't imagine it. the difference between seeing, let's say, those same guys that we're talking about, seeing Amy Schumer there or seeing her in the theater in the middle of the country when she's doing a tour, I think it's a completely different experience.
It's completely different.
Yeah.
And even moving down from the super famous people.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, if you're a comedy nerd or whatever you want to call it, like to go to the Comedy Cellar some nights is like being in a night where like Paul McCartney shows up, then the Rolling Stones show up, and then, and then Springsteen. I mean, sometimes we have those nights, you can't even believe it.
And working out new material too, which I think is something that if you love comedy, it's a great thing to watch in the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Although it's funny, most of these guys, even like Louis, when he comes in with new material, it's pretty good right off the bat,
Yeah.
But then moving down from the very famous people, there's only like 20 acts in the city who I think really, really kill, like really, really good. And everybody else is really a notch below. And all those acts are basically only working at the Comedy Cellar now. So except for a night where somebody's headlining at Gotham or something like that, I really feel, and I really believe this, that every good comic in the city is working at the Cellar, and there are no other good comics working in any other club, not with any predictability anyway.
So why do you think that is? How did you get, and again, like we're talking about Louis or Amy or Attell because but Gary Goldman is a killer.
Have you heard his state abbreviation?
Yeah, he's just
Carlin-esque. It's amazing.
Yeah, and what he's even done in the last couple years. So if you're hanging, I mean, like I thought he was very funny a few years ago, but I think every time I see him, it's stepping up and it's smarter and it's sharper.
I agree with you.
To be around, right, when that is happening is really as exciting as seeing Chris Rock come in on his 20th year of being, a superstar. But to watch somebody, I mean, it wasn't that long ago when Louis went from one step to the next step. And the step from what we're talking about where Gary Goldman is, the next step is always a gigantic one. You've built it up all these years. So, and Amy Schumer was the same way. Just a couple years ago, she was a nice, funny person who was really, getting better every time you saw her. And then, boom.
Yeah, she's like the fastest rise I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to see that happen. But there's this feeling now that we're just launching these folks one after another. So why are they all at the Cellar?
I first of all, the table.
Yeah.
And they only work 10-minute spots.
Right.
So they like being able to hang out at the table. They like being able to compare notes, and then they like to be able to hang out with famous people. And then it's kind of feeding on itself because we have, like I said, we have 35 shows a week now, and we're the highest paying club. So we're giving out so many spots where people used to have to go all around town in a night. They're able to stay just at the Cellar. So they'll just stay there all night. We can give some comedians 4 or 5 spots in one night. So it all feeds on itself.
Well, when you opened up the Underground, when Attell did the TV show, and I told him this, that's the exact room in my head that I saw when I only listened to comedy albums. And like when I was a kid and I would listen to an album, I would picture a room that looked exactly that cool.
Julian McCullough, when he went down to that room, he says, "Oh, this is what people picture the Comedy Cellar is when they come from the Midwest to see a comedy show."
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, almost exactly what you're saying.
Well, in my mind, it was just, the fact that, that you could feel how much creativity took place in that room throughout the years. I just find it phenomenal. I think it looks perfect. And I did one of the Unmasked with the kids in the hall there, and the room was just exploding. These 5 guys came out, and I know they were amped because of that whole environment. And the audience was amped because of that whole environment. And it was one of the funnest things I've ever done in my life.
It's, maybe I shouldn't say it. I will, whatever. I think one of the mistakes some of the other comedy clubs have made over the years is trying to purposely not look as comedy clubs have traditionally looked.
Right.
They try to be more upscale. They try to give people more space between the seats. You know, almost everything to not be cliche. But the truth is, it works best in a particular environment with brick walls and warmth and earthy materials and seating close together. There will never be a better environment for that.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like when a band thinks, can we do something besides a rhythm section?
That's right. No.
No, dude. No. Don't do it as much as you think you want to experiment. But, you know, in the tradition of, you know, when we all thought about New York years ago, you always wanted to be a place where Miles Davis might show up, Coltrane might show up. You don't really get that with music anymore, but you can still get it with comedy.
Yeah.
You know?
Music is not like, you know, you think about years ago where Hendrix went out and he opened his show with Sgt. Pepper, right? I mean, it was
like
very
a week
warm.
later or whatever.
Yeah, it was a communal time.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be that way anymore. I have no idea why. You know, John Mayer comes down quite often.
Right.
And he's kind of like that, you know, but I've even felt when I hear him talk that he's frustrated by not being able to find that kind of scene for musicians anymore. That's why I think he's going out with the Grateful Dead now.
Well, you know, I've met so many of the musicians who were part of like the Swinging London of 1964 to like 66, 67. Anytime the subjects come up, those dudes beam. It was the time of their life. No matter what success that they had later or how much money they have, you can't get away from the fact that to be around creativity is the best feeling I think that you could have.
And it's probably not a coincidence that that's when so much of the classic music of the century came out. It's cross-pollination. And maybe it's the same thing going on in comedy now, you know?
Yeah.
Just sitting at the table with a lot of other comics and maybe just, the kind of semi-competitive nature of having to follow someone else steps up your game.
Yeah, it's the right kind of competitiveness, I think. It's not the kind of competitiveness it goes back to jazz. If you're at a jazz show and somebody has a great solo, you know there's going to be 3 or 4 to follow because you have to, you know. If you're on a basketball court with Jordan, your game has to come up.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Are you a musician at all, by the way?
No, I'm not, but I love music. And I love that thing of whatever happens, you know, that unnamed thing that whatever happens that connects everybody in the room.
Can I tell you, I think you are a fantastic radio host. I've told so for a long time. And I always wonder, why is this, like, I feel like you should be doing really high profile interviews.
Yeah.
Because it seems like there's nothing you don't know about and nothing that you're not interested in, from politics, almost anything.
Right.
You know, and I've just always been I'm really honored to meet you because I've always been very impressed with you.
Well, I think it goes back to that same spark though. No matter what art form that we're talking about, what we're talking about, it's always that thing that grabs you, you know? And a lot of times I think money gets in the way, and certainly drugs have gotten in the way, and sometimes just, you know, not holding it precious enough. But you know you've got this thing at this point. And I think the amazing thing about it, what you're saying, is to know that it really does take place off stage.
Yeah.
Not on stage.
Yeah, the stage, I mean, the rooms are nice, but really anybody can open a room. I mean, if there's no easier production-wise show than a comedy club. We literally have like 2 spotlights and a microphone, you know, and then a lot. But the ability to create a hospitable environment and be gracious and kind of know when to leave them alone, know when to infuse some kind of energy. It's just a whole thing. It's like my grandmother really was like that, and then my father was like that, and I hope I'm like that. And it was always about the like the old days, people used to throw great dinner parties, you know,
Sure.
like it's that kind of thing.
Well, you know, Bill Graham had it too, and you know, we go back to he had it with music, and you go back and you listen to those great albums that were some of the best live albums done there. But then you go back and look at what the room was like, and the room was pretty nondescript, but there was magic happening there.
Yeah, there's magic happening. That's exactly it. And it's, I don't know. I hope I don't mess it up. It's really true. Like, there's always this great fun of being on the escalators is coming up, right?
Yeah.
And I've had that a few times in my life. Where I opened the bar and went up in the Cafe One. Now this is but then it kind of becomes less fun in a way, because now what I'm worried about all the time is don't mess it up. Don't open my mouth. If Louis says something that I really disagree with, shut up.
Let it go.
But then, on the other hand, I'm not sure if letting it go is the right thing, because he likes a little
he likes
fight,
a little heat.
So 5 years ago, I said, Louis, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of balancing act, and it really does worry me.
Well, here's the beauty of it too. We're talking about the table. You can hear Noam doing a show every week from the table, Thursday nights, 7:00 right here on the Raw Dog Comedy Club, who plays Saturdays at 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. in the East. Thank you so much for stopping by, dude.
My pleasure.
A real pleasure for me.
You're gonna
as
come
well.
down?
Yeah, I'm gonna come down, and I'll do the show with you if you
I would
have
love
me
that.
on one time.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I'll follow up on that and come down just to see the show or sit. Yeah. You never sat at the table, have you?
No.
Oh my God, they would love to have you at the table, and it'd be the time of your life.
All right,
really.
let's
both
do
of
it.
you. Really, anytime. You just Lou has my number. I'll give my number. Text me or whatever it is. I mean, no, you don't. You can. Cut that out, I guess. But.
No, we're leaving it all in. I'll see you down there.
Okay, thank you.
This has been the Innovators of Entertainment, brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka, distilled 6 times from 100% corn and naturally gluten-free. Come visit us at titosvodka.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!